What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join my Discord if you want to chat and share your thoughts, the link is in the description. 2 Chapter 26. I don't want anything else, just the top spot. The content first appeared to be a row of large fonts, with an exclamation mark between each word. My. It can be seen how excited the poster was when he created this post. After that, comes the main content. Open black lens bracket everyone, this is incredible, this is incredible. This morning, I discovered something very incredible, that is, a young man actually got out of the goddess Shangguan's car. You should know what this means, right? This should be the first time that the cold fairy let a man get into her car except for the old housekeeper, right? Shocked expression. Without further ado, everyone, please look at the pictures and watch the video. Close black lens bracket. Below the content, there was a video of Sumo coming down from the luxurious house, and then Shangguan Feiyan personally handed the alloy guandao to him. Next, the two of them walked into the campus together, with their beautiful backs showing each other. For a moment, the students who entered this post stared at the video in a daze. Especially some male students who regarded Shangguan Feiyan as their ideal goddess were brokenhearted on the spot. His expression was numb, as if he had lost his goal in life and was standing there in a daze. Tell me, this isn't real, this is a synthetic video, right? Right? I was torn apart and felt that I had lost the meaning of life. Goddess Shangguan is already taken. Sigh. It seems I need to find another goddess to yearn for. Unfortunately, other goddesses are not as perfect and charming as goddess Shangguan. I wish this brother goody ****** and every day. Wait. Are you suffering from paranoid delusions? Is it possible that the man is a relative of goddess Shangguan or something? That's right. Don't let your imagination run wild, brothers. The number of replies and comments rose rapidly, instantly pushing this post to the top of the forum headlines. In less than 10 minutes, hundreds of curious people came in, and the number was still increasing rapidly. Just like the first wave of students, the students who came in later were also stunned and started to comment. Among them, several IDs that radiate glory were pushed directly to the front. ID. The goddess of Magic City University. Tisk, isn't Shangguan Feiyan a very cold and aloof woman? How come she suddenly has a man? God of Fire. Junior sister Feiyan is so confused. Once she is influenced by a man, her sword drawing speed will become slower. Mudu Xiao Mengmeng. Humph, damn Feiyan, you have a man, but you didn't even tell me, your good friend, you made me so mad. Gongzi Buzhe. Given her status, Shangguan would not easily agree even if it was her own choice. The owners of these IDs are all popular students in the university, and are as famous as Shangguan Feiyan. Advertisement. When they saw the news about Shangguan Feiyan, they all came to join in the fun. There were people who were concerned, people who were sarcastic, and people who just wanted to watch the show. In short, this post exploded. In less than half an hour, it became the focus of the day at Shanghai University. At this time in the villa, Sumo was still looking at the app. Beep. Dad, the phone is ringing. Dad, the phone is ringing. Pulling out his phone, Sumo was immediately furious. Hello. Oh, why is your tone so fierce, brother? On the other end of the phone, Yan Yun laughed sweetly. How is it, Goddess Senior, are we getting along well? Sumo. I'm about to become the public enemy of men, what do you think? Ha. I just called Feiyan, that little girl, and she said she had a good impression of you. After the teasing, Yan Yun's tone suddenly became emotional and he asked, I heard that you won the competition with Feiyan. Sumo was stunned. Senior sister even said this? But we are tied, no one wins or loses. Ignoring Sumo's humble words, Yan Yun smiled proudly and said, you are worthy of being the man chosen by my sister. Sister, stop making trouble. You are already 27 or 28. You little brat is asking for a beating. After fooling around with Sumo for a while, the young teacher suddenly became serious. By the way, I got inside information about this year's freshman competition. I heard that not only will the resources be doubled this year, but the rewards for you students who win places will also be more than any previous session. If you can win and get a good ranking, then during your freshman year, you will not only get the resources that the school should give you, but also with this reward, you will definitely be the richest kid in your first year of college. Of course, the premise is that you must get a good ranking. What do you think? Do you have confidence? Hearing this, Sumo's eyes flashed with anticipation. He had just seen the description of the freshman competition on the app. It can be said that this freshman competition determines the allocation of resources for all freshmen in human universities for the whole year. Funded by the federal government and distributed according to ranking, every school attaches great importance to the freshman competition. After all, this affects the growth of freshmen in their first year. If the ranking is not good, there will not be enough resources to distribute. The school will have to pay for it out of pocket. On the contrary, once students help a school achieve good rankings, the school will receive a lot of resources. Not only are there sufficient resources for all freshmen, but this student will also be treated like an emperor. Advertisement. In addition to the rewards from the federal government, the school will also give a lot of allocated resources to the student. It can be said that a freshman competition is the key to the school's talent development. It is also the first step for all freshmen to rise. Gaining a ranking will definitely lead to a meteoric rise. In last year's freshman competition, Shanghai University won first place. Shangguan Feiyan, who was a freshman at the time, fought to the end and won the title of first place among freshmen. So Su Mo would naturally not let go of this resource. As they are all freshmen, he is confident that he can be the most handsome one. Thinking about it, Su Mo said to the phone, "Just try to get into the top 3. To say this is already being low-key, yo yo yo." Yan Yun smacked his lips and laughed. "Are you too confident? You are still so-so. I admit that you are better than your senior sister was, and I am very proud of you, but I still have to give you a blow, so that you won't be defeated and unable to recover." As she spoke, her tone became a little serious, and she continued, "According to gossip, Taikyo University seems to have recruited a demon student who has awakened 2 superpowers a while ago, an S-level elemental superpower and an A-level special superpower. Moreover, during the registration today, it was found that his cultivation level was Black Iron 7 stars, and he even beat some old students into the infirmary. His strength is amazing. This matter has spread all over Taikyo University, and we, the special recruitment teachers, all agree in the group that if there are no accidents, this student is likely to be the top of the freshman list this year." After saying this, Su Mo was slightly surprised. Dual superpowers, I finally heard someone mention this. And from Yan Yun's tone, we can tell that dual superpowers are indeed rare. But it doesn't seem to be shocking enough to shake the world and make ghosts cry. Thinking of this, Su Mo breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed that he was indeed too cautious. Of course, if others knew that he had double S abilities, then it's probably not far from shocking the world and making ghosts weep. After all, S level and A level are like heaven and earth. On the other end of the phone, Yan Yun saw Su Mo was silent and thought he was hit, so he jokingly comforted him. "Don't worry, our brother is not bad either. Although this year's class is more competitive than ever before, it will be no problem for him to be in the top 10. Hearing Yan Yun's words, Su Mo also laughed. "Teacher, you trust me so much, then the top 10 is too good, right? Let's not do anything else, and we won't be so sloppy. Let's work harder and get the top spot." Front 10. Sorry, Su Mo doesn't want such a vague ranking. Only the top of the list is barely acceptable to him. We are all freshmen, awakened at the same time, and have the same growth period. If I had a system, I wouldn't even have this much confidence. It really can be remade. Chapter 27 Simulated Battlespace. Huh? Top of the list. Yan Yun chuckled and said, "If you can get the top spot, I'll promise you a condition. It's not impossible for me to go on a date with you." Here it comes again, this stupid teacher who talks all the time. Su Mo's face changed slightly. "Then I won't take the top spot. It's okay to get into the top 10. Su Mo. When your teacher was young, she was the goddess of Magic City University, an S-level genius girl. Others would try every possible means to have a meal with me or let me take a look at her, humph." Yan Yun's angry voice came. Hearing this angry snort, Su Mo quickly changed his tone and said with a smile, "I was just kidding, teacher, don't worry, I will do my best, and, teacher, you are very beautiful." "Hee, that's more like it." Yan Yun snorted twice, then raised her lips slightly. "By the way, if you have nothing to do later, go to the school forum and check if there is any news." After saying that, he hung up the phone. Message notification? Su Mo seemed to have just seen that there was such a campus forum in the app introduction. He immediately took out his cell phone, entered his student ID number, and entered the campus forum. "Where's the news?" Su Mo began to scan. Sudden. He was slightly stunned and looked towards the leader's position. Shocked. Goddess Shangguan seems to have a man. Senior sister has a man? Boyfriend? I didn't expect that the forum of Magic City University is quite 8 trigrams. With a hint of curiosity, Su Mo clicked in. Then, what caught my eye was a sentence. My mentality has collapsed. Continuing to look down, Su Mo's face suddenly turned dark. When he finished reading the content and watching the video and pictures, veins on his forehead were already bulging. Grass. The heroine in the title is Shangguan Feiyan, and the hero is actually Su Mo? And judging from the shooting angle in the video, it is very likely that those few posts were made. Good job. Sure enough, it was used to make an article. Shangguan Feiyan's man. Man. You are AF asterisk 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 GB asterisk 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 D. Advertisement. My relationship with my senior is pure, okay? Su Mo was too tired to complain. That stupid teacher must have known about this post and tricked me into coming here. He even notified me about it? Damn. Then he started to look through the comments. All of them wished he wouldn't get erect. Damn. These beasts are so damn vicious that they actually made such a vicious oath. After looking at it for a while, Su Mo left the forum, feeling both amused and helpless. That senior is so damn popular. I think she is popular in the whole school, whether she is a sophomore, junior or senior. Are you all here to join in the fun? Fortunately, that group of idiots didn't take a picture of my face, so no one recognized me for the time being. But I believe that in a few days, there will be news that he and Shangguan Feiyan are living under the same roof. It will definitely be discovered by someone with a keen eye. By then, I wonder how sad these guys will be. It's quite exciting to think about it. Thinking amusedly, Sumo logged back into the school app and opened a series of challenges about earning points and rewards. The most important thing right now is to become stronger. As expected of a top university, there are so many challenges to earn points. Looking at the challenges of earning points one by one, Sumo felt a little dazzled. All of these challenges are designed to make students stronger, and there are all kinds of them. This simulated battle space actually has storage item rewards. Interesting. After watching for a while, a more conspicuous challenge attracted Sumo. Simulate battle space. It is a virtual battle space connected spiritually, where challenges are conducted in the form of a ring. The target of the challenge is naturally the virtual character simulated by the system. These characters are virtual people simulated through the data of school students. Strengths of every level are available, randomly provided to students who come to challenge. As for how to get rewards, it is also very simple. That is to fight in a ring and challenge the virtual person assigned to you by the system. As long as you keep winning, the rewards you get will be more generous. After the challenge fails, the system will also settle the account and issue your current battle reward. It says here that as long as you reach a certain level of winning streak, storage items will be one of the rewards. Let's give it a try. Advertisement. With his eyes flashing with brilliance, Sumo quickly picked up the alloyed wando and walked towards the battle space without saying a word. Fortunately, there was no one outside the villa at this time, and no one saw him coming out of the goddess's villa. About 10 minutes later, Sumo followed the instructions and walked to a tall and ancient tower. The tower is built of unknown stone, carved with various ancient patterns, and looks majestic and mysterious. Above the entrance to the tower, 6 large characters are carved. Simulate battle space. At this time, many students were sitting around the battle space, looking dejected. Damn it. I finally won 3 games in a row, but in the 4th game, I was assigned a silver 4-star avatar that was 1 star higher than me, and it was a B-level avatar with wind elemental abilities. What the hell is this? No way. In addition to strength, the simulated battle space also requires a certain amount of luck. If you are unlucky, it is possible that you will be assigned a silver 9-star in the first match. Of course, the chance of this happening is still very small. After all, this is a challenge, not a place to be abused. No matter what, I still want to challenge. I have already received the reward for 3 consecutive victories. If I don't break through, I won't get any rewards later. I also want to get the spiritual energy liquid reward for 10 consecutive victories. Listening to the conversation of this group of people, Sumo curiously walked to the front of the battle space, where a virtual panel was being projected. Above is the ranking of the winning streaks maintained in each realm, as well as an introduction to the rewards obtained from the winning streak. Sumo immediately looked up at the winning streak ranking of the Black Iron realm. First place. Morong Chongkong, 426 consecutive victories. This one is quite fierce. Sumo smacked his lips. He had heard that in the battle space, one would get tired and run out of spiritual energy. Only after winning 10 games in a row will they recover. But even if it's 10 games, sometimes I'll feel exhausted. But this guy was able to win more than 420 games in a row. His mental state and willpower are really amazing. Retracting his gaze, Sumo turned to look at the introduction of the rewards. There are indeed storage tools, but they are low-level storage tools, which are simple bracelets of low-grade quality. But even so, it is a treasure that most gold awakeners find difficult to obtain. In order to obtain this low-grade and crude storage bracelet, one must achieve 200 consecutive victories in the corresponding realm. The difficulty is quite great, but it should not be difficult for him. Not to mention 200 consecutive victories in the Black Iron realm, he might be able to achieve it in the Silver realm as well. But of course he can't be so high profile, otherwise there would be no point in asking the system to hide his realm. He knows when to be high profile. Anyway, there are storage items for the Black Iron realm challenge, so there is no need to risk being exposed by challenging the Silver realm. 200 consecutive wins? That should be a little harder than drinking water. Murmuring with a smile, Sumo immediately stepped into the battle space under the gaze of some seniors. Chapter 28 Lucky Numbers. Good luck. This brother looks very young. It seems that I haven't seen him very often in the battle space. You're talking nonsense. There are so many students in the school, they could stagger around at any time. Isn't it normal that you haven't seen it before? No, I'm a frequent visitor here. I can guarantee that this guy is definitely here for the first time. Besides, it seems that there aren't many people using alloyed wando in our school, right? If there are, I will definitely be impressed. Is it the first time? If it's true, I don't know how many games he can win in a row. Straight wins? You think too much. This guy is most likely from the same class as us. He was too scared to come before, and now he is about to enter his sophomore year and is here. He is a real idiot. That's right. The new students haven't started school yet. Although this guy does look young, he can't be a freshman. You think this kid is so young and a stranger? Could he be a special recruit? Hey, you think too much. Do you think special admission students are cabbages? Looking at Sumo's slender back as he walked into the tower, the students sitting around him started doing 8 trigrams out of boredom. It's true that Sumo's alloyed wando is really conspicuous, and it's hard for them not to notice it. In the battle space, Sumo was dazzled as soon as he came in. Inside the tower, there is a background of the starry sky, exuding an extremely strong science fiction atmosphere. Slowly walking towards the front desk, there was a teacher in charge of the battle space today. Sumo walked forward and said with a smile, "Teacher, I want to challenge you to a fight." The teacher nodded, then took Sumo's student ID card and then his pupils shrank. He looked up at Sumo and asked in surprise, "Are you the special student enrolled by Teacher Yan this year?" "Yes, sir." Hearing this, the teacher couldn't help but praise, Black Iron 6-star, young and promising. He knew that Yan Yun had recruited an S-class special genius, but he didn't expect that this student had the cultivation level of Black Iron 6 stars just after entering school. Isn't this much better than Shangguan Feiyan? Go in. The virtual space in the first row of the boss's room is the Black Iron realm. You just need to go in and you can start. Having said that, the teacher logged the student ID card into the database of the virtual space and returned it to Sumo. Taking the student ID, Sumo asked, "Teacher, can I really get a storage bracelet if I win 200 games in a row?" The teacher was stunned, then shook his head and said, "Student Sumo, if this is your first time challenging a battle space, I suggest you challenge 20 games first. It would be best if you can win in a row, if not, you can calm down and digest it. These are all combat experiences. You can't challenge with this mentality, because it will make you lose your composure easily and get nothing in the end. So don't aim too high. Confidence is a good thing, but I think combat experience is also important. As for the storage bracelet, you can choose it after winning 200 games in a row. With your talent, I believe you will succeed in the challenge in the next period of time, but now it's your first time, so you should focus on experience." After confirming that there were storage items, Sumo's mind had already flown into the battle space. But he still had to follow the proper etiquette. He nodded and smiled, "I understand, teacher." 20 consecutive wins does not exist. He came here to get the storage bracelet. Without 200 consecutive wins, what's the point of challenging here? Soon, he entered the virtual battle space. Buzz. Battle begins. Space is being generated. Challenger, Sumo. A virtual computer sound immediately spread in the space of the cosmic background. Advertisement. The next moment, Sumo felt dizzy and came to a wide empty space. On the opposite side, a vague human figure was gradually taking shape. A virtual list pops up. Defender. Virtual human realm, Black Iron 6 stars. Ability. B-level enhanced gold bronze armor, Challenger, Sumo. Realm. Black Iron 6 stars. Ability, S-level special demonic shock force. The competition officially begins. As the virtual computer sound fell, the virtual character with the appearance of a young man rushed towards Sumo. The golden bronze armor wrapped around the entire body. Although the speed was reduced, it was still within the normal range. Strengthening system? Well, I'll fight you flesh to flesh. Sumo grinned and rushed forward. The special ability in front of him called Golden Bronze Armor is obviously biased towards defense, but he said he is not weak at all. After many comprehensive improvements, no one knows what level his physical strength has reached now. I haven't used my full strength yet. Now is a good time to try out this virtual character's defensive ability. In the blink of an eye, the two collided with each other, and the virtual man punched violently, causing a whistling sound. Hardcore confrontation, I like it. With a grin, Sumo stretched and gathered strength like a giant crossbow, and immediately punched out with his right fist, relying on weak spiritual energy. Clang. A sound of metal clashing was heard, and then the virtual character's arms were seen covered with a layer of gold and bronze armor. He was also twisted by the huge force and flew backwards. Bang. Falling to the ground, the virtual character hugged his twisted arms and howled in extreme pain. Although it is a virtual character, the pain is quite realistic. Without any hesitation, Sumo rushed forward again with the dragon step, aiming for at least 200 consecutive wins. He didn't want to waste any time. Seeing this, the virtual character quickly stood up, trying to avoid Sumo's attack. But unfortunately, since he was not as fast as Sumo and his strength was not as violent as Sumo, he was like a wooden stake. Being bombarded with punches. Advertisement. Bound. Under the violent iron fists, the virtual characters were directly blasted into scrap gold and copper, and large amounts of blood flowed out. In the end, Sumo kicked him with a kick that shattered his heart and lungs, and he died a fatal death. Successfully snatched the challenge. The winner is Sumo. As the virtual computer sound rang out, the virtual character that was killed slowly disappeared, including the blood dripping onto the ground. Soon, the second game started in less than 10 minutes. This time, Sumo was defending the title, and a virtual character randomly generated by the system was competing for the title. A few seconds later, a thin figure appeared, a virtual girl of B-level fire element with 7 black iron stars. However, after Sumo got close to him, he was killed instantly with 9 consecutive slashes of heavy sword. Next, it can be said that he swept all the way, either killing instantly or on the way to killing instantly. With 6 black iron stars, he possessed a perfect foundation and was absolutely invincible among his peers in the world. Even when he was rarely matched with an S-level 9-star Iron Awakener, Sumo still killed the target with the full strength of the Iron 6-star. Even if he was injured, he could recover as before after 10 games. No one could match him. At this time, at the front desk of the battle space, the teacher sitting on duty frowned and looked in the direction of the black iron virtual space. 2 hours have passed, and classmate Su hasn't come out yet? Did he run into a stalemate with his opponent? This is usually the case when a newcomer challenges someone. They are nervous for the first time and are in a stalemate for half a day before they start fighting. The same thing happened again after the next game. Even though he is a monster, I think he must be nervous. Shaking his head, the teacher withdrew his gaze and sat down again. Until another 3 hours passed. The teacher then realized something was wrong. He was just about to get up and investigate, but he was startled by the screams outside. He immediately walked out with a frown. What the hell were these students doing? They were shouting and making a fuss outside. It was so disgraceful. Walking out of the battle space, the teacher saw that the students were standing there stupidly, their eyes wide open looking upwards. What the hell are you doing? So noisy. A student smacked his lips and pointed at the virtual panel with a trembling finger. Teacher, look. Frowning, the teacher looked over, then, well. His body froze, just like the group of students below, unable to move, his eyes wide open. Only seen on the light screen of the virtual panel. At the top left corner, the familiar handwriting has changed. Black Iron Extreme Challenge Record. First place, Sumo, 888 consecutive wins. Chapter 29. Here it comes. The female fly is here. Is this a record? F*K. Senior Murong's record was broken. Who is this Sumo? He's so awesome, 888 consecutive wins, this is going to be heaven. The main thing is that this record was just broken. In other words, this amazing person is still in the battle space? F*K. Boss. After being stunned for a moment, the students became excited and looked at the names on the screen with red faces and thick necks. Sumo. This is definitely a ruthless person. Murong Chongkong was a great man 200 years ago, who set a record of 426 consecutive victories. He made rapid progress all the way, being invincible in his sophomore year, invincible in his junior year, and invincible in his senior year, until he graduated and achieved great success. Today, he seems to have become one of the pillars of mankind and a legendary strong man. But now, the record of such a great man was broken by this person named Sumo. It almost broke the record by double, 888 consecutive victories. Is this something a human can do? Aren't you tired? Damn, comparing yourself with others will only make you angry? A student immediately grabbed the teacher's arm excitedly. Teacher, who is this Sumo? The words fell. All the students stared at the teacher. The record was just broken, so the teacher definitely knows who this person is. However, the teacher on duty was also confused at the moment, and he didn't even come to his senses when the student grabbed his arm. Sumo actually won 888 consecutive games. Bang! It was as if an invisible slap hit his face, and it felt hot. I was telling him not to aim too high 5 hours ago, and now he's got a swollen face from being beaten. This feeling is really unpleasant. With a wry smile, the teacher on duty came to his senses immediately and ran back to the tower in a hurry. Seeing this, the students behind him followed. Advertisement. 888, send, yeah, that's all. In the battle space, Sumo stopped the challenge and looked at the winning streak, expressing his satisfaction. Full of meaning. After giving up the challenge, he exited the battle space. Walking on the way to the front desk, Sumo looked very happy. After winning 888 games in a row, besides getting the storage bracelet, I should be able to get a lot of good things, right? Soon. After turning a corner, Sumo just arrived at the hallway when the teacher on duty came to meet him. Behind him, many of the hundreds of students exclaimed in surprise. F*K. It's him. It's the brother who was carrying the alloy guando just now. He can challenge the Black Iron Realm's battle space, and he is still very young and a new face. He must be a special recruit. Well, it's impossible for his sophomores to challenge the Black Iron. Only the special recruits can register to enter the school in advance. But this special recruit is too awesome, right? He just came to challenge the battle space and broke Senior Murong's record. His strength. It's so terrifying, I dare not even think about it. The students were amazed and then looked at Sumo with admiration. The teacher on duty took a deep breath and asked excitedly, Student Su, did you really kill 888 virtual people? Being watched by everyone, Sumo nodded. Yeah, it's quite time-consuming. The teacher on duty's breathing hitched. 888 consecutive victories, just a waste of time? Upon hearing this, the students behind him knelt down immediately. Look, the boss's speech is different, exuding a strong aura of dominating the king. Student Su, based on the strength you have shown so far, you definitely have a bright future. Looking at Sumo, the teacher on duty sighed again and again. Come on, collect your reward. A group of students immediately followed behind, swallowing their saliva, looking at Sumo with envy. 888 consecutive victories. The rewards must be very generous. If they were given 50 consecutive wins, they would be extremely excited. At the front desk, the teacher on duty took out 2 storage bracelets, one looked delicate and the other rough. Advertisement. He handed both to Sumo and said with a smile, Student Su, this storage bracelet for 200 consecutive wins is of low-grade quality, and the space is barely enough. The other one is of intermediate grade quality that can be obtained by 400 consecutive wins. Even the teacher would envy it. In addition, I have stored all the rewards for the consecutive wins in this intermediate grade bracelet. Take a look. Sumo heard this and carefully took the 2 storage bracelets. This morning, he was still extremely envious of Shangguan Feiyan. Now, he also has one in each hand. As expected, the system at Shanghai University is like heaven for outstanding students. After binding the 2 storage bracelets according to the instructions of the on-duty teacher, Sumo said goodbye and left. Everyone looked at his receding back with a look of amazement on their faces. It seems that this junior is definitely the most handsome one among this year's freshmen. Brothers, no one knows what's going on here yet. Let's go to the forum. Ha ha ha. Let's post a thread later. It will definitely be very exciting, no less than the incident involving a man like the goddess Shangguan. In my opinion, only a monster like that brother is worthy of the goddess Shangguan. What do you think? +1, +2, it was already night, and Sumo was in a very happy mood as he walked on the brightly lit campus road. Just one challenge brought him so much gain, what about other challenges and mission activities? With his strength, wouldn't he be able to gain more? Modu University really didn't disappoint me, it really deserves to be called a holy place for education. With a sigh, Sumo quickly walked into the villa area for special admission students. But just as he was about to step into the avenue leading to villa number 10, a figure suddenly jumped out from the side. A fragrant breeze blew in his face, and Sumo squinted his eyes to look. He saw a tall woman with shoulder-length hair and wearing a fiery red dress, staring at him with her hands on her hips. This woman's appearance can be rated at least 90 points. Although she is not as perfect as Shangguan Feiyan, she is probably also a great beauty in this magic city. Especially the cinnabar on her forehead, which adds a bit of charming temperament to this woman. Looking at the woman staring at him, Sumo asked in confusion, "Classmate, what can I do for you?" It seems like he doesn't know this woman. Why do you look so angry? Humph. I learned from the forum today that Feiyan got off the car and walked with a man. I was so d off. The woman looked Sumo up and down, and then said in a sour tone, "It's you, you stinky boy, who made me so angry. You dared to make me jealous." Forehead, Sumo's mouth twitched. What does this woman mean? Chapter 30. I'm going to be blown up looking at the beautiful woman opposite him. Sumo decided to ignore her. If there's nothing else, I'll go back to the dormitory. Having said that, he turned away from the woman and walked away. Pity. The woman in the red dress took a step forward and stopped him again. She glared at Sumo, pouted her red lips and said unhappily, "Feiyan is mine. Also, my name is Yi Xiaoshui, and I'm Feiyan's best childhood sweetheart and girlfriend. I'm also your senior, don't ignore me." Good guy, Sumo exclaimed. Good guy, Lily? But Shangguan Feiyan doesn't seem to have that kind of habit. In other words, this guy. Thinking about it, Sumo's face became strange. Senior sister, do you like women? Glancing at Sumo, Yi Xiaoshui snorted, HMPH, don't think of me as so vulgar. I don't like ordinary women. Perfect women like Feiyan who are both cool and charming are my favorites. What a pity. Your male fans must be very sad. Shaking his head, Sumo once again avoided the strange woman. However, Yi Xiaoshui actually grabbed his arm and pulled him back. The fragrant breeze blows on your face and you can even smell your body fragrance. Sumo's face changed slightly. Senior sister, men and women should not be intimate, don't do this. Screw you. Yi Shui snorted coldly. Remember, Feiyan is mine, don't have any bad thoughts. Sumo was speechless. Senior sister, it's impossible for you to do that. Also, my relationship with you is very pure, don't worry. Real? Well, it couldn't be more true. After giving the guarantee, Yi Shui let Sumo go, and then followed him to villa number 10. The door had just opened when a tall, perfect figure walked down from the second floor. It's Shangguan Feiyan. When she saw Yi Shui behind Sumo, she was slightly stunned. Xiao Shui. Seeing her best friend's surprised expression, Yi Xiaoshui looked incredulous. Feiyan, what's that expression on your face? You're so natural to see this boy, as if you're surprised to see me. Shangguan Feiyan said calmly, didn't you go home on vacation? Humph. Didn't you rush back to school because you saw you were about to be stolen by this man? Advertisement. Yi Xiaoshui pouted and glared at Sumo. Sumo shrugged and looked at Shangguan Feiyan meaningfully. What his eyes mean is, your best friend is amazing. Shangguan Feiyan was silent. Sumo came back with Yi Xiaoshui, and she knew what had happened. Well, it's all my fault for protecting Yi Xiaoshui too much when I was a child. As a result, the latter has become dependent and even developed such a strange habit. It was Shangguan Feiyan who was guilty. Thinking helplessly, Shangguan Feiyan took the lead and walked up to the second floor, followed by a soft and ethereal voice. I just cooked some food, Junior, Xiaoshui, you just came back, come and eat together. Upon hearing this, Yi Xiaoshui became furious. I started to have wild thoughts in my mind. If I hadn't come back unexpectedly, wouldn't Feiyan have invited Sumo alone? Hateful. There is definitely something wrong with these two. It is very likely that the brat has already started to pursue Feiyan, otherwise her best friend would never invite a man to dinner together. This must be the case. He ignored Yi Xiaoshui, who was glaring at him. Sumo walked up to the second floor and said with a smile, I didn't expect that senior sister can cook. I'm just hungry. The dormitory on the second floor is not much different in style from the one on the first floor, but I don't know if it's because girls live there. There was a faint fragrance, a very natural and pleasant fragrance, like a girl's body odor. When I walked to the dining table, I saw a very sumptuous dinner. It looks very good. Sumo's appetite suddenly increased, and he praised, Senior sister, your cooking skills are good. Shangguan Feiyan blushed. Cooking is one of my hobbies. This was her second time cooking for another man, and the feeling of being praised was a little different from that of her father. Hey, Yi Xiaoshui was angry at the side. Do you think I don't exist? These two people are actually being so affectionate with each other, how hateful. Soon, the three of them sat down, and Sumo started eating. Image and other things were no longer important in the face of hunger. Shangguan Feiyan kept staring at Sumo, hesitated for a moment, and suddenly asked, Junior brother, did you go to challenge the battle space today? Advertisement, senior. How did you know that? Sumo was stunned, he went out quietly. Seeing Sumo's confusion, Shangguan Feiyan clicked on an exquisite bracelet on her jade hand, and a virtual panel popped up. She logged into the campus forum and saw 3 posts at the top that were extremely popular. The first one is naturally the post about Shangguan Feiyan's man incident. Shangguan Feiyan didn't look at this post, but clicked on the second one. The title is, Brothers and Sisters, Senior Morong's extreme record was broken by a specially recruited freshman. It's a very simple title, without any exaggeration, but it is just that title. But its popularity instantly caught up with Shangguan Feiyan's post. The content inside is exactly how Sumo went to the simulated battle tower today and broke the record. This time, his handsome appearance was also captured on camera, and it was clearly visible. What follows is all kinds of bragging. Brothers, this specially recruited freshman is definitely the strongest of this class, or even the strongest of all 10 classes. Just wait and see, his name is Sumo, he is handsome and talented, he is definitely the top freshman. Well, all kinds of flattery are going to blow Sumo up to the sky. Finally, a screenshot of the light screen is attached. Black Iron Extreme Challenge Record. First place, Sumo, 888 consecutive wins. After putting away the light curtain, Shangguan Feiyan looked at Sumo seriously. When you were sparring with me, you really did retain your strength. On the side, Yi Xiaoshui also reacted and looked at Sumo in shock. It can't be you? You really broke the record of Senior Morong in the battle space? And reached the 888th floor, damn it. Sumo continued to eat his meal and said vaguely, these bastards are so G fast. The meaning is self-evident. Hiss, Yi Xiaoshui took a deep breath and looked at Sumo, unable to recover for a long time. Like Shangguan Feiyan, she was a special admission student in the previous class. But even during his freshman year, he had already been promoted to Black Iron 9 stars. The most she had ever won in a row was 276 games, and that was when she was lucky and her strength had reached her Black Iron limit. The most evil one, Shangguan Feiyan, had nearly 400 games, almost reaching the level of her senior Morong Chongkong. But their records are nothing compared to Sumo. This stinky guy who was eating rice in front of me has just entered the school, but he has broken a record that has been maintained for 200 years. Although she didn't want to admit it, Yi Xiaoshui had to say that Sumo was definitely the strongest freshman in this class, or even in the past 10 classes. Chapter 31 The Challenge of Special Recruitment at the dinner table. Sumo was stared at by 2 beauties, which made him feel a little nervous. Eat. It's just a record, don't make a fuss. If he had known that 888 would be such a sensation, he would definitely have won 666 in a row. Thinking helplessly, someone continued to eat. Shangguan Feiyan and Yi Xiaoshui looked at each other, gritted their teeth, and wished they could beat him to death. Don't make a fuss. Not to mention that they were shocked, I'm afraid that the teachers and the principal had already started to get excited. However, this guy now acts as if it has nothing to do with him, which is really infuriating, as if winning 888 games in a row is easy. This made those who had once tried hard to challenge it feel embarrassed and angry. Of course, if they knew that this 888 game winning streak was a record achieved by Sumo's reasonable control of points. I wonder how he would feel if he could actually win another 100 or 80 games in a row. Do you even want to pin Sumo to the ground and ravage him like crazy? After a while, the 2 women took a deep breath, and after a period of ups and downs, they finally calmed down their excited mood. Yi Xiaoshui seemed to remember something at this time, and looked at Shangguan Feiyan puzzledly. By the way, Feiyan, what did you say just now about sparring with Sumo? Glancing at Sumo who was eating rice with his head down, Shangguan Feiyan said softly, I lost to my junior in a competition of the same level. Oh, Yi Xiaoshui exclaimed at first, then fell silent. In her mind, Shangguan Feiyan, wearing the immortal sword armor, is a heroic Valkyrie. Since my freshman year, I have never lost to my peers. It left a deep impression of invincibility in her mind. Now it's a bit hard to accept to hear that I was defeated by a freshman who just enrolled. However, when she thought of Sumo as the one who broke Morong Chongkong's record, she had to accept it. With such talent and strength, it seems that she is much better than Fei Yan. It looks like this stinky guy is really going to sweep away all the freshmen in Shanghai. Advertisement. Even if his cultivation level improves, some sophomores may not be his match. Because, Shangguan Feiyan was like that in the past. After dinner, Su Mo took the initiative to wash the dishes. Yi Xiaoshui temporarily moved in on the pretext of protecting Shangguan Feiyan and lived with her on the second floor. Su Mo curled his lips and looked at Yi Xiaoshui. I am a gentleman, not as dirty as you. You, Yi Xiaoshui snorted coldly. Don't think I don't know that you guys are actually all LSP. Without paying any more attention to this amazing woman, Su Mo looked at Shangguan Feiyan and chuckled. Thank you for your hospitality, senior sister. The food you cooked is delicious. You will definitely be a good woman who can fight on the battlefield and in the kitchen in the future. Shangguan Feiyan's pretty face turned slightly red. I've been trying some new dishes recently. If you like them, you can come and try them often. As soon as she finished speaking, Yi Xiaoshui on the side burst into laughter. It's over. Her bestie seems a little different. Why does she feel a little less cold? Su Mo didn't think much about it. After accepting Shangguan Feiyan's invitation, he said good night and went downstairs. Back downstairs, Su Mo took a shower first, then lay on the bed and checked the campus forum. Just now when Shangguan Feiyan showed him the forum, there were 3 most popular posts. He found that the third post seemed to have his name on it. Everyone, I discovered an amazing secret. The man who got out of Goddess Shangguan's car seems to be the evil special recruit Su Mo who broke Senior Murong's record. Everyone, wait for me to analyze it slowly, watch out. Therefore, the content began to list a series of well-reasoned analytical sentences. Alloy sword. The slender back of the golden ratio, etc. They are all matched one by one. My goodness, these guys are really observant. Lying on the bed, Su Mo secretly smacked his lips. Now, he was truly famous. Out of curiosity, I continued to look through it. In addition to those who disagree with him, there are actually many people who admire and praise him in the comments. Advertisements. Some senior students even said they wanted to be his fans. Su Mo naturally gave thumbs up to these senior students with good vision. After praising for half an hour, he felt sleepy and lay down to rest. The next day, Su Mo got up and washed up before stepping out of the bedroom. Then he found Shangguan Feiyan and Yi Xiaoshui were already sitting on the sofa. Su Mo's face suddenly darkened. You too, do you think my first floor is your territory? This is his sofa and living room, okay. Ahem. Yi Xiaoshui pointed to some exquisite food on the guest table in the hall and said, Student, eat breakfast first. I'll tell you something later. Su Mo looked at her suspiciously. You won't poison her, will you? This breakfast was made by Fei Yan. Oh, I'm relieved then. Thank you for your hospitality, senior. After quickly finishing breakfast, Su Mo looked at Yi Xiaoshui with a puzzled look. What's the matter, tell me. Yi Xiaoshui looked at Shangguan Feiyan. You speak, Feiyan. Hearing this, Shangguan Feiyan looked at Su Mo and said softly, Junior, another special recruitment teacher just called me and said that the new students recruited this year wanted to challenge you after reading the forum. They said they would collectively arrange a time later for a friendly match. It depends on your opinion. Su Mo was stunned. You all come to challenge me alone? Yi Xiaoshui gloated at the side. It's because the campus forums have praised you to the skies, saying you are the strongest freshman, the strongest top student, etc. The other special recruits are all arrogant, so it's not surprising that they want to challenge you. Even the other special recruits' teachers want to see what you're like, so they organized a friendly match like this. That's how Fei Yan was tested in the first place. Is that so? Su Mo thought about it, then grinned and said, then accept the challenge. We will definitely meet in the future anyway, so it's better to get to know each other earlier now. It's a good opportunity to see what the S-level abilities of the other specially recruited students are. After all, these people will be his competitors in the future. Well, barely. Shangguan Feiyan nodded and called back immediately. Teacher Zhuang, Junior Su Mo has agreed, you can arrange it. A middle-aged man laughed deeply on the other end of the phone. Haha, great. It's good for the little guys to spar with each other. Thank you for your hard work, Feiyan. After hanging up the phone, Shangguan Feiyan looked at Su Mo and said, Junior, this teacher Zhuang actually doesn't get along with our teacher Yan. He had a big fight with teacher Yan when he recruited me. In the end, I chose teacher Yan, so we don't get along on campus. Of course, it's always been a competition in education. He finally recruited a special student this time, so he must want to test you to organize this friendly match. Su Mo heard this and said strangely, do you want to prove that your students are better? Shangguan Feiyan nodded. That's about what I mean. Su Mo stood up and twisted his neck, making a crisp sound, and said with a smile, then I will prove it for our teacher Yan. Chapter 32 Live broadcast of the special enrollment friendly match. Soon, under the leadership of Shangguan Feiyan, the three came to a tall martial arts hall marked with number 33. This is one of the facilities used for students to compete and hold large-scale events on weekdays. The equipment and everything else are top-notch. There are at least hundreds of such martial arts arenas in Shanghai University. Looking at the towering alloy martial arts hall in front of him, Su Mo smacked his lips. This is bigger than our high school, right? A martial arts arena that occupies tens of millions of square meters, is that too exaggerated? Yi Xiaoshui curled her lips and said, of course it's bigger than your high school, and other martial arts halls in the school are much bigger than this one. You know, high-level awakeners have great destructive power. If it's built too small, it will affect some awakeners who need to use the terrain to fight. For example, awakeners who have awakened the ability to fly need a lot of space to fight with others. As they spoke, the three of them entered the gate. The environment inside made Sumo sigh with emotion again. It really has everything. In the halls full of technology, the testers, dynamometers, speedometers and other equipment are all new products. And there are halls like this one after another, extending all the way to the center of the martial arts hall, which is very grand. After walking for about 10 minutes, a bright light suddenly shone in from the entrance of the venue. Arrive. Turning to look at Sumo, Shangguan Feiyan was the first to step into the venue. Immediately afterwards, an open-air venue suddenly came into Sumo's sight. At a glance, it was even more shocking than it looked from the outside. At this time, in the center of the venue, Teacher Zhuang was already waiting with several special recruitment teachers and the special recruitment new students. As soon as Sumo and the other two came in, he looked over and said with a loud laugh, "Come down, Fei Yan." Next to this group of teachers, a dozen young people also looked at the three people in unison. To be precise, he should be looking at Sumo who was walking behind the two women. There was dissatisfaction and arrogance in his eyes. These dozen young people are nearly 2/3 of this year's specially recruited freshmen. The rest have either not arrived yet or have not been recruited yet. Yesterday, Sumo was being praised on the campus forum, which made them, who had just reported on the incident, feel very unfair. Young and frivolous, each of them is a monster among 10,000, or even 1 in a billion. But just after arriving at school, news spread that he and his friends were being suppressed by others. They must be very dissatisfied. Advertisement well, several of them had already discussed it this morning and decided to ask Teacher Zhuang to host such a friendly match. The purpose is to prove themselves that they are no worse than Sumo, or any other special recruits present. The three of them came down from the observation deck and came closer. Teacher Zhuang walked up, patted Sumo on the shoulder and said with a smile, "Student Su, thank you for your hard work." This Mr. Zhuang is a middle-aged man who looks very kind. Apart from his competitive spirit, which is worthy of criticism, people's evaluation of him is pretty good. Sumo smiled politely. "It's not hard. I'm quite happy to get to know all of you classmates in advance. In such occasions, it is natural to do a good job on the surface." Upon seeing this, all the special recruitment teachers nodded secretly. The handsome young man in front of them was not as arrogant and domineering as the news said. "I am polite and have a good sense of humor. It seems that some people are trying to mess things up again." After a few more polite words, Teacher Zhuang suddenly smiled and looked at everyone. "Students, I have just discussed with several teachers. The school is now on vacation, and this opportunity is rare. Moreover, you are the new special recruits of our Magic City University, and you are the face of our school. So for this friendly match, several of our teachers are considering whether to broadcast it live so that all the teachers and students of Shanghai University can understand it. Of course, the teacher will ask for your opinion. Whether to hold a private or meaningful public-friendly match is entirely up to you." The words fell. A dozen specially recruited freshmen looked at each other, and Sumo was also slightly stunned. Live broadcast. The whole school is watching. If I feel like this, I'd be a bit nervous. But soon, a young man in a blue shirt and with curly hair said with a confident smile, "Teacher, I have no objection. It's a bit stressful, but it's exactly what I want." "Can. Then let's broadcast it live, teacher. It will be a good opportunity for the seniors to see how awesome I am." Among the dozen or so students, most agreed, and Teacher Zhuang looked at Sumo. Sumo shrugged and smiled, "I don't care." Nodding, a teacher immediately went to prepare the live broadcast equipment at the venue. Advertisement at the scene. Teacher Zhuang continued to host. "Dear students, please take this time to introduce each other. You go first, Tianyi." The handsome young man in blue clothes and permed hair immediately stood up and smiled confidently. "My name is Li Tianyi, and I am a special student of Mr. Zhuang. As for my superpower, it is an S-level lightning element superpower, Shadow Thunder." The words fell. All the students subconsciously looked at Li Tianyi solemnly, and Sumo was also a little surprised. Not to mention the S-level elements, it is also the lightning type with the strongest attack. Although the name suggests that it is not the ultimate strong attack type. But it is definitely very strong. Being stared at by everyone, Li Tianyi showed a smile on his pretty face, and then glanced at Sumo intentionally or unintentionally. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly, and then he looked away. He is actually one of the initiators of this friendly match, and he calls Sumo the strongest freshman. Li Tianyi strongly disagreed. So what if the record was broken? They had never really fought each other. He would not admit defeat to anyone of the same age. Sumo naturally noticed Li Tianyi's look, but didn't care too much. When the competition begins, whoever is not convinced can stand up. After Li Tianyi stepped down, the second person quickly stepped forward. He was a square-faced, but very attractive masculine young man. He smiled naively and said, "Hello everyone, my name is Cheng Wushang, and my superpower is the S-level beast transformation type Wild Blood Golden Lion. Fellow students, please give me your guidance. Is it the beast transformation type? It's the S-level beast transformation of the King Lion, very powerful. Everyone secretly took note of the boy's special abilities. Next, it was the turn of a tall girl with a ponytail to come out. She was wearing a tight casual jumpsuit. She has waist-length hair and a delicate face, which is definitely 90 points, but she is still a lot inferior to Shangguan Feiyan. At this moment, her face looked very cold. Murong Z, S-level mutant ice power, absolute 0. Murong. When these words were spoken, many people were stunned except Shangguan Feiyan and Yi Xiaoshui. They were simply too familiar with this surname. In the past 200 years, every student who had challenged the battle space was familiar with it. Teacher Zhuang smiled and said, Student Murong Z is the great-granddaughter of Senior Murong Chongkong. As Senior's alma mater, Student Murong Z naturally chose our Magic City University. The vice president personally went to recruit her. Hearing this, everyone suddenly realized that she was actually the great-granddaughter of Senior Murong Chongkong. No wonder her last name was Murong. Next, after several classmates introduced themselves, it was finally Sumo's turn. All the students were staring at him. Sumo smiled calmly, you all should have heard of me yesterday. Well, let me introduce myself formally. My name is Sumo, and I have the S-level special ability Demon Shock Power. By the way, as for the title of the strongest freshman, it's all made up. Don't worry about it. Chapter 33, The Junior Student Beats the Woman Mercilessly. Everyone should have heard of me yesterday. Well, let me formally introduce myself. My name is Sumo, and I have the S-level special ability Demon Shock Force. By the way, as for the title of the strongest freshman, it's actually all made up, so don't worry about it. The words fell. Yi Xiaoshui at the side burst out laughing and murmured, this stinky junior definitely did it on purpose. These specially recruited freshmen are already feeling unbalanced because you were praised to the sky, and why are you bringing this up? What a bad and stinky junior. A barely perceptible smile flashed across Shangguan Feiyan's beautiful eyes as she looked at Sumo. The freshmen were furious, especially Li Tianyi, although he looked fine on the surface, his hands hidden in his sleeves were clenched into fists. But they couldn't say anything because Sumo's tone was casual and his words were rather modest. How can they respond to this? Soon, everyone finished their introductions. Just wait for another 10 minutes or so and wait for the full range of live broadcast equipment to be ready, then you can start. At this time, the good-looking boy with a square face walked towards Sumo. A simple smile appeared on his masculine face. Student Su, they don't respect you, but I, Sheng Wushang, do. You can win 888 games in a row in the battle space. I think you are definitely the strongest freshman in our class, or even in the past. And I heard that you were born in an orphanage. Actually, I was the same. I was abandoned when I was young and grew up with an old beggar. So I understand you. These rich kids from noble families can never stand others being better than them. I don't know how many times we poor kids need to work harder to surpass them. As he spoke, the boy stretched out his right hand. Sumo stared at the pair of sincere thick eyebrows and big eyes, couldn't help but smile, and stretched out his right hand to shake hands with it. This is a sincere, honest and enthusiastic young man. Worth making friends. Seeing Sumo shaking hands with him, Cheng Wushang put his other hand around his head and smiled shyly. You are the first friend I met in college. We will be campus companions in the future. I see that your student ID card shows that you are a few months older than me. Can I call you Brother Mo? Huh, that's no problem. Patting the boy's shoulder, Sumo grinned and said, what a coincidence, you happen to be my first friend of the same age during college. You can come to me if you have anything in the future. Cheng Wushang smiled naively. Okay, Brother Mo. His idea was very pure and simple, he just knew that Sumo was the only special admission student of the same age as him with the same background. He decided to make this friend, and Mexican was indeed a very nice person, even though they only talked for a few minutes. But Cheng Wushang could see that the latter was a good person and the kind of friend with whom he could truly have a heart-to-heart talk. This was not only his intuition, but also the result of his supernatural power, the Mad Blood Golden Lion, sensing a person's emotional fluctuations. Advertisement. After about 10 minutes, the all-round live broadcast equipment in the arena was adjusted. The friendly match officially begins. At the same time, at the campus forum of Magic City University. A video box popped up. All the students on leave who were posting, including those who stayed on campus, were startled by the pop-up box. Then when I saw that it was an official prompt from the campus, I immediately clicked on it out of curiosity. As soon as the virtual 4D video was opened, a title was hung on it. Live broadcast of the 3021 Special Recruit Freshman Friendly Match. In an instant, everyone became alert. What the hell, didn't these genius recruits just sign up yesterday? How come they're organizing a friendly match right away? Really? I seem to see Goddess Shangguan and Goddess Yi, and that damn Sumo. Damn. You're jealous. With two beautiful seniors as your companions, your blood is boiling. Isn't it possible to be invincible? Brother upstairs, Goddess Yi doesn't count, you know. The location is Martial Arts Arena number 33, ha ha ha. I happen to be at school, let's go, it's so cool to watch it live. Wait for me, I'll go too. After a while, all the teachers and students who received the message entered the 4D live broadcast room. Some sophomores, juniors and seniors, including teachers, all rushed to the number 33 martial arts competition hall. When they passed the avenue and entered the venue, they saw Sumo and others below. Phew. It hasn't even started yet, it's just in time. Hurry up and take your seats. Hurry up and take your seats. You know, it's very rare to see the special recruits competition. Today we are going to feast our eyes. Is he Sumo? He does look quite handsome. He is indeed the man who broke Senior Morong's record. F*K. Brother, aren't you jealous of him? He lives under the same roof with Goddess Shangwan. Sour. I have a girlfriend. If I'm jealous, I'll have my legs broken. Grass. As a large number of people poured into the venue, the scene began to become lively. Especially with the arrival of some distinguished and famous senior students who were about to graduate. Advertisement. The scene was brought to a new level by waves of screams and exclamations. On a high platform at the scene, a handsome young man surrounded by people stared at Sumo below. His eyes were disdainful, but there was a hint of cynical smile on his lips. Is he Xiao Feiyun's boyfriend? A beautiful woman beside him twitched her lips when she heard this. You said that about your precious sister, aren't you afraid that she will beat you to death? Father already knows that she lives with her boyfriend, what do you think? At this time, in the center of the venue, Teacher Zhuang looked around the observation deck. He smiled and looked at Sumo and the others. Are you nervous with so many people watching you? A dozen special recruits secretly glanced at the curious eyes around them and swallowed uncontrollably. Nervous. They are indeed nervous now. If it was a live broadcast, it would be fine, but suddenly so many people came to the scene, and they were all senior students, and even teachers and leaders. It would be strange if I wasn't nervous. It's normal to be nervous. Get over it. Anyone who can face the enemy calmly in this environment will definitely be able to train your character. Teacher Zhuang was very satisfied with this atmosphere, and immediately took out an alloy box from the side, which contained the names of special recruits such as Sumo. The two people whose names were drawn began to compete with each other. Pulling out 2 notes from the box, Mr. Zhuang announced loudly, the first match is Morong Z versus Sumo. Sumo was stunned. She was the first one, and the opponent is the great-granddaughter of Morong Chongkong. Forehead. I wonder if she will hold a grudge against me for breaking her grandfather's record. Thinking of this, Sumo secretly glanced at the girl beside him, and immediately met her cold and sharp eyes. Well, it seems a bit. On the viewing platform, Yi Xiaoshui looked at Sumo in the middle of the field and curled her lips. This stinky junior is playing against the beautiful girl Morong in the first game. With his LS personality, he will definitely let her win. Shangguan Feiyun on the side shook her head. Even if my opponent is a woman, I will not show mercy. Yi Xiaoshui looked at her and asked, why? I only heard Shangguan Feiyun whispered, because he once wanted to blow me up with one punch. Yi Xiaoshui. Chapter 34. Maybe she was careless. Yi Xiaoshui stared blankly at Sumo in the center of the field. Is this something a human can do? He actually wanted to beat up this beautiful girl Fei Yan? If I really get beaten to pieces by you, don't you think it's a pity? For a moment, Yi Xiaoshui was stunned. At this moment, as Sumo was the first to appear, the scene was already boiling with excitement and endless discussions. Wow. Sumo is the first to appear, and his opponent is a goddess-level beauty. I'm so envious. Why are you envious? This is a competition, and my junior Sumo will definitely not show mercy. Your junior Sumo? A female fan of beauty. So G disgusting. Tisk, you're not as handsome as junior Sumo, you're not as talented as junior Sumo, and you don't work hard, but you're just jealous. You're even more disgusting. You. The audience was noisy in the center of the field. Morong Z and Sumo faced each other from a distance. The girl looked at Sumo with a cold face and suddenly said, I will break the ancestors' record again. The voice was cold and revealed a hint of confidence. Looking at Morong Z, Sumo just chuckled and said, then do your best. To be honest, he actually disliked the personality of the woman in front of him. There are also different types of cold. Shangguan Feiyun's coldness is just instinctive, but if the two get along with each other, they can find that she actually has warmth as well. Morong Z's coldness was intentional. She always had a condescending indifference towards people and things. Facing such cold weather, Sumo just wanted to say, get up here. Looking at Sumo's appearance, Morong Z frowned. Do you think I can't do it? Sumo was speechless. This woman is not only cold and disgusting, but also has an obsessive-compulsive disorder. Helplessly, he could only raise his middle finger. Come on. If you don't beat her, this woman might still talk nonsense. Absolute zero. On the opposite side, a trace of anger flashed in Morong Z's eyes, and she let out a low growl. A stream of cold air suddenly rose up around his body, followed by the appearance of light purple ice. The temperature within 4 or 5 meters around suddenly dropped to an extremely terrifying level. Even though he was nearly 30 meters away from her, Sumo could see traces of purple ice floating in the space near the girl. The students and teachers who were watching the 4D live broadcast also saw the same scene in that subtle shot. Advertisement. Looking at the introduction information, this schoolgirl is actually the great-granddaughter of Senior Morong, and her Absolute Zero is an S-level ice variant, and her cultivation has reached the 4-star level. She is a darling of heaven. but Sumo seems to be a 6-star black iron. I don't know if he can beat her S-level elemental transformation ability, although Sumo is a special type, we don't know what it is yet. Maybe Morong can cross the level. What are you thinking? She is a genius, but her junior is not a genius. Are the 888 consecutive victories in vain? This little sister is so proud and cold, she will definitely lose to Junior Sumo. I'm a man, and I also think my junior can win. Suddenly, comments were posted like crazy, all analyzing the winning rates of Su and Mo. Among them, most of the male seniors were transformed into creatures with lower bodies, and they all believed that Morong Z could win. After all, she was a talented and beautiful girl. Only a few rational people, including Sumo's senior fans, desperately posted comments suggesting that Sumo would definitely win. In the audience seats at the scene, the young man with a disdainful look glanced at the pretty woman beside him. What do you think? The beautiful woman rolled her eyes. Huh, you clearly know the answer, yet you still ask me. Yeah, 888 consecutive wins, how difficult is that? Center of the venue. Congeal, Morong Zijao shouted, and a large amount of purple cold air condensed into icicles under the command of her jade hands and shot towards Sumo. At the same time, a blue alloy sword appeared out of thin air in her hand, and then she used her body skills to kill him quickly. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, 6 pads of ice, wherever it passed, the air was frozen into ice chips by the terrifying cold and fell to the ground. Morong Z followed behind him with lotus steps, her beautiful eyes cold and graceful movements, the long sword in her hand ready to stab straight ahead. Arrived close. Sumo looked at the approaching attack and shook his head, weak, too weak. As he spoke, he raised his right hand, a white halo appeared, and he swatted it away like swatting a fly. Snap, a strange shattering sound was heard, and the place where the shot was hit was like a piece of glass breaking, with thin cracks spreading out and then spreading. The 6 pads icicles seemed to have hit an invisible wall of space and came to a complete stop. The sharp sword tip of Morong Z, who was stabbing behind her, was also frozen, and confusion appeared on her pretty face. The next moment, buzz, a shocking force of the ultimate aura rushed back. This, Morong Z's face suddenly changed and he wanted to retreat, but just as he had the thought, his sword was already gone. She was blown away in midair, the dress on her delicate body was stained with blood and she was seriously injured on the spot. Bang! Advertisement. The girl fell to the ground, her face full of fear and confusion, and she tried to get up stubbornly. But after holding on for a moment, her jade hand tilted and she fainted. Quiet as death. Everyone in the spectator seats was stunned, and you could hear a pin drop. What the hell? It's over before it even started. Morong Z, the proud daughter of heaven, was killed instantly? Even some viewers who were sure Sumo would win were confused. They guessed it in the end, but why was this process so exciting? That nonchalant look, that casual slap, and that strange explosion of space. It made everyone's hair stand on end and they were extremely shocked. The first match, Sumo wins. Teacher Zhuang, who was standing by, did not expect the result to come out so quickly and announced it loudly. On sight. Suddenly there was a burst of warm applause from the seniors who supported Sumo. Sumo beef. Oh my god. That moment of blooming just now made my hair stand on end. Isn't this ability of junior brother Su too terrifying? Ah, junior is so handsome. Senior loves love. Sisters, I'm wet. Woohoo, my junior brother's nonchalant look just now was so handsome. Yi Xiaoshui turned to look at Shangguan Feiyan, swallowed her saliva and said, Feiyan, you were right. This stinky junior will not show mercy when beating a woman. That little girl Morong will probably have to stay in the infirmary for a week. Shangguan Feiyan nodded in agreement. Would it have been the same if I hadn't barely blocked that punch during the sparring yesterday? It seems that this junior fellow of ours has no sympathy for women. Student Su, you're being a bit harsh. Teacher Zhuang looked at Sumo with a headache on his face. Student Morong can't compete now. Sumo nodded and said apologetically, I'm sorry, teacher. I know that my realm is high, and I have already taken away most of the power. It's just that classmate Morong. Maybe she was careless. He really wasn't serious just now. Sumo, who had the strength of a 6-star black iron warrior, faced Morong Z, who had a 4-star black iron warrior. He only used the spiritual energy of a 2-star warrior to activate the shock force. Even physical strength, armament color and other powers are useless. This can be seen from the casual look on his face just now, as if he was swatting a fly. But even so, the girl still flew out, and it wasn't really his fault. Chapter 35 Future Considerations, Invitation to Cheng Wushang. Hearing Sumo's answer, Teacher Wang's face suddenly turned black. She's a girl, can't you give way to her? After that, he leaned close to Sumo's ear and whispered, and she is Senior Morong's great-granddaughter. You are impulsive. Sumo curled her lips. So what if she's a girl? Girls are not human beings, right? If I'm careless, won't I become ice slag? Teacher Zhuang was speechless. At the same time, deep in my heart, I have already recognized a fact. I'm afraid his special student Li Tianyi is no match for Sumo. At first, he still had a fluke mentality, wanting to see if his precious special recruit could defeat Sumo by relying on the powerful attack power of the lightning ability when he was 2 stars behind. but now it seems that the latter's strange ability is actually a strong attack ability. The special type of strong attack system is no worse than the elemental thunder system, and is even stronger in some aspects. Well, he sighed inwardly. It seemed that he had lost to that girl Yan Yun again. Uncomfortable. Teacher Zhuang looked at Sumo helplessly. You are now the strongest among the special recruits. You can't be so heavy-handed in the competition later. Do you understand? Most of them don't accept you. The competition is definitely going to happen, but you have to be more lenient. If you can't control your superpowers well, the teacher will help you stop it appropriately. Hearing this, Sumo nodded and smiled. Then I'll trouble you, teacher. Marong Z was quickly carried away, and the remaining dozen or so special recruits looked at Sumo with fear on their faces. The scene just now really scared them. The scene of the space exploding, and the scene of Marong Z flying backwards and her body being hit hard. It can be as weird as it can be. Such an opponent is at a higher level than them, and the slightest hope in their hearts has disappeared completely. Certainly, some people are still very dissatisfied at this moment. For example, Li Tianyi, and there is a young man with a crew cut named Ji Peng. The two of them frowned tightly and stared at Sumo, even though they knew in their hearts that the latter might really be stronger than them. But their self-esteem will never allow them to give in. Cheng Wushang came to Sumo's side with a smile. Brother Mo is awesome. Let's see if they dare to look down on you, humph. Sumo shook his head and smiled. My realm is higher than yours. Cheng Wushang grinned. It's not a good thing to be low-key when you have the ability, Brother Mo. Advertisement, I know. Even if your realm is lower than ours, we are no match for you. Sumo curled his lips. You know again? Cheng Wushang said seriously. A man's sixth sense. Okay. The sixth sense comes out, number 1 fanboy +1. The second match, Cheng Wushang vs Yang Shang. At this time, Teacher Wang's voice sounded again. Sumo patted Cheng Wushang on the shoulder. Come on. Haha, don't worry, Brother Mo, I will not submit to anyone except you, and I will definitely defeat them all. Center of the field. Opposite Cheng Wushang was a thin young man with a gloomy expression, and it was obvious that he was not a good person. Sumo remembered this person because when he was introduced just now, he was quite impressed by the S-Class enhanced demon arm. Roar! As Teacher Zhuang announced the start of the competition, a loud roar was heard. During the confrontation, Cheng Wushang turned into a golden lion more than 3 meters tall. Strands of blood-red hair mixed in with the golden hair made him look even more sinister instead of extremely noble. His pupils were as red as blood as he stared at Yang Shang opposite him. Yang Shang was obviously frightened by Cheng Wushang's beastly power. He was stunned for a moment before he immediately used his special ability. Devil Arm. After a burst of black light spread, his 2 arms continued to twist and turned into ferocious claws with mysterious runes. The battle is about to begin. I have to say, the S-level beast transformation ability is indeed terrifying. Unlike low-level beast transformation abilities which can only bring about partial changes, it requires continuous improvement in the future to complete the full transformation into a beast. For S-level, they can be fully transformed into beasts right from the start, and their qualities in all aspects are far superior to those of lower-level beasts. Due to the characteristics of the species, it can directly possess powerful combat capabilities. Cheng Wushang can be said to be very lucky, as the object of his beastification is the king of beasts, and also a legendary beast in history. Crazy Blood Golden Lion. The king of kings, advertisement. Yang Shang on the opposite side was no match for him at all. The golden afterimages continued to attack Yang Shang, even though the latter's demonic arms were extremely powerful and could even generate black light for protection. But under the clanging of sharp claws and terrifying force, Yang Shang was constantly beaten back. In the end, the black light was shattered by a palm strike, and he flew backwards and was defeated. Teacher Zhuang immediately announced, in the second match, Cheng Wushang wins. There was an uproar at the scene. S-level Mad Blood Golden Lion. Another powerful monster. This year's special recruits are indeed much stronger than previous years. After Cheng Wushang won, he came to Sumo with a big laugh and said, I didn't embarrass Brother Mo. I won too, haha. Sumo patted his shoulder and smiled. Not bad, it's a very powerful ability. While watching the battle just now, he not only saw the young man's monstrous talent, but also his combat awareness, which was very good. He displayed the lion's haki and attack characteristics to the fullest. He is a true genius. I heard that during the 4 years at Magic City University, most of the strong students will form their own outdoor teams. All tasks are completed by working together with high efficiency. Even after gathering a force of his own in the academy, when he graduates, joining the legendary 9 demon-suppressing armies will be much more effective. In short, you cannot work alone in college, it is necessary to gather team strength. Looking at Cheng Wushang, Sumo has already started thinking about his own team's affairs. He suddenly smiled and said, Takeo, after this friendly match, I will go out to the Abyss territory to hunt monsters. Do you want to go? Cheng Wushang grinned and said without saying anything. Go, of course. With Brother Mo leading us, we will definitely kill as many monsters as we want. I have killed monsters near my county before, and that's how I earned all the money I have. Nodding, Sumo continued with a serious expression. Also, I will form a team later, Takeo, you. I'm in. Chang Wushang also looked at Sumo seriously, his thick eyebrows and big eyes were full of sincerity. When I recognized you as my first friend, I had this idea. I believe in you, Brother Mo. Sumo also laughed. Haha, okay. This is how people are. As long as we get along well, we are like brothers. One is Cheng Wushang. At that time, I will ask Yan Yun to use her privileges to recruit Chen Darong into Modu University. The team that requires 3 people to form can be formed by yourself. After that, some special missions that require 3 people or even a larger number of people can also be accepted by Sumo. The points and income from these tasks will be one of the sources of resources for him to unlock templates in the future. Chapter 36 Brother, you are awesome. While Su and Mo were chatting, the third competition was about to begin. One is Li Tianyi, and the other is a pockmarked boy named Yu Chang. His superpower is an S-level enhanced speed variant, which allows him to accelerate instantly. There are many highlights in the battle between these two people, and that is the comparison between the speed of lightning and the real S-level speed ability. Who is stronger? Li Tianyi has regained his confident expression at this moment, but of course, his fear of Sumo has become even stronger. He glanced at Sumo secretly, and his fists hidden under his sleeves clenched unconsciously. Yu Chang on the opposite side saw this scene and frowned and said, Li Tianyi, you still have time to think about Sumo. Are you so confident that you can take me down? Li Tianyi turned around, his eyes showing a hint of pride. You are a 3-star black iron, and I am a 4-star black iron, so I am naturally confident. Humph. You won't know until you fight. With a cold snort, Yu Chang took off the alloy sword from his back, and his figure disappeared in an instant with a whoosh. Instant acceleration. This type of speed type ability is mainly based on oneself, and the combat effectiveness depends on one's own physical fitness. Psychic energy can drive supernatural powers, which can cause physical fitness to explode. Then with the blessing of terrifying speed, the strength is definitely an increase of 1 + 1 greater than 2. But Yu Chang's physical fitness can only be regarded as average for his age, even after launching an instant acceleration. You must cushion it, otherwise your body will easily be injured. It's fast, but I have lightning powers. With a sneer, a dense stream of yellow thunder immediately burst out from Li Tianyi's face. Then he twisted his body, and saw Yu Chang, who appeared close to him, and his fatal knife missed. Sizzle. Li Tian anticipated and dodged the knife. He was quick and his clenched right fist was instantly filled with lightning and blasted towards Yu Chang. Clang. Yu Chang hastily swung his knife to block the punch and flew out, but he stopped after 2 rolls. Looking at Li Tianyi solemnly, he shook his arm that was paralyzed by lightning. Then, he rushed forward again, leaving a trail of afterimage, and began to change direction constantly. Li Tianyi showed disdain on his face, took out an alloy sword from his storage bracelet, and rushed forward with lightning covering his body. Advertisement. This Li Tianyi is worthy of being the young master of the extreme martial arts school. Not only was he lucky enough to awaken an S-level lightning ability that is 1 level higher than his A level, but he even reached 4 stars in just half a month. If it weren't for Sumo, the pervert, he would have most likely been the top recruit of this year's special recruitment, right? First, it's too early to say that. Murong Zi and Cheng Wushang are also very strong, especially the latter, the Mad Blood Golden Lion, which is no joke. That's right. The others haven't played yet. Why are you so anxious to make a conclusion? I think this year's special recruits are very talented. It seems that in this year's freshman competition, our Magic City University is ranked first again. You think too much. My friend at Taikyo University sent me a message yesterday, saying that there was a ruthless person among their school's special recruits. He was very scary. He beat several sophomore silver-level seniors into the infirmary. There was a lot of discussion in the audience, and the fight between Li Tianyi and the other man was soon coming to an end. In the third match, Li Tianyi wins. In the end, Yu Chang was naturally defeated, but it was still considered good, as he was able to fight with Li Tianyi, who was 1 star higher than him, for more than 10 minutes. It is not shameful to lose because of physical failure. Of course, this is also related to the fact that Li Tianyi has not yet exerted his full strength. Sitting on the waiting seat at the edge of the venue, Sumo looked at Cheng Wushang and said with a smile, Do you have confidence in fighting with Li Tianyi? Cheng Wushang glanced at Li Tianyi who walked off the field proudly. I'm not afraid of him. I can beat everyone except Brother Mo. Haha, you lick it too much, Takeo. I'm telling the truth, Mo. The following competitions were carried out one after another. The special abilities of several specially recruited students caused everyone at the scene and in the live broadcast room to marvel at them, and they secretly exclaimed that there were such magical abilities. Even Sumo was curious. Of course, in the end, these few people all lost because of their realm and proficiency. The first round is over, let's take a break, and then the second round will start. After teacher Zhuang made the announcement, he walked over to Li Tianyi and began to teach. It was not difficult to tell from the looks they gave Sumo from time to time that the two teachers and students were probably analyzing how to deal with Sumo next. In the audience, Shangguan Feiyan and Yi Xiaoshui walked back down the field and headed towards Sumo, which made many people who were looking at them feel jealous again. Coming closer, Yi Xiaoshui teased, Student, the way you hit a woman just now was not gentlemanly at all. Sumo glanced at her and said, sorry, I don't fight with my lower body. You rascal. Advertisement. Cheng Wushang didn't dare to say anything and secretly gave Sumo a thumbs up. He is really worthy of being my brother Mo. With the goddess in front of him, he remains calm and even fights back when she teases him. What a man. Shangguan Feiyan, who was standing by, smiled. Junior, after you won just now, Teacher Yan's nose is about to turn upside down, look. As he spoke, he pointed to his watch and a virtual video popped up immediately. In the video, it was Yan Yun's extremely beautiful face. She looked at Sumo at the moment, and her beautiful eyes were about to bend into crescent shapes. Brother, you are awesome. As soon as the charming tone came out, Yi Xiaoshui and Shangguan Feiyan beside her blushed slightly. Cheng Wushang's face turned red all the way to his buttocks. Good job. It was so stimulating as soon as she opened her mouth, it was hard for a newbie like him to handle it. Is Teacher Yan always so exciting? No wonder Mo Jie is so calm. Looking at Sumo who looked calm, Cheng Wushang secretly admired him. Sumo looked calm. Teacher, I helped you gain face, shouldn't you give me some benefits, such as points or something? Want a flying kiss? Roll. In the video, Yan Yun looked at Sumo and smiled. Okay, sister will give you benefits later. While comforting him, her tone suddenly became a little sly. By the way, the principal seems to have just returned from the battlefield. You have to behave well later, you know. If he gets the news and rushes to take a look, and sees your extraordinary talent, he might give you something good. Fei Yan got a lot last year. Hearing this, Sumo's heart trembled. The president of Magic City University, Feng Xiaoyao. That extraordinary being who was at the peak of the 9 stars and half a step away from becoming a king. Such an existence is now one of the pillars of mankind. It is an important force to fight against the billions of monsters and even the king of monsters. Sudden, a gust of wind blew by. A figure appeared silently beside Sumo and others. He looked at Yan Yun in the video and smiled helplessly. You Yan girl, you only know how to take advantage of small opportunities. Chapter 37. Invincible Performance, Collective Recognition. The figure that suddenly appeared was wearing a green robe, with a tall stature and a slight breeze blowing around him. His facial features were obscured by a green light, making him look vague and mysterious. Headmaster, Shangguan Feiyan, Yi Xiaoshui and Yan Yun in the video exclaimed on the spot. This principal always appears so suddenly, it's so scary. Sumo and Cheng Wushang reacted and hurriedly shouted politely, hello, principal. I looked at the principal quietly. Is he Feng Xiaoyao? That extraordinary and powerful person who was close to becoming a king. Sumo was extremely shocked at this moment. Because in his observation Haki, as the principal appeared, the wind around him became restless. Indistinctly, it seemed as if the principal himself was regarded as the center and everything was flowing around him. Moreover, Sumo had a hunch that if the man in front of him wanted to, the wind within 1,000 miles would definitely obey his orders. Fear. Is this the extraordinary strong man? The aura is as vast as the abyss. Once it appears, it will cause changes in the world. Sumo's heart was burning with passion. This kind of strong man was exactly the goal he longed to reach, or even surpass. The movement here at this time was also noticed by everyone. Teacher Zhuang and the special recruitment teachers appeared behind Feng Xiaoyao in a flash. Principal. In the audience, all the students and teachers shouted respectfully, welcome back to school, principal. In the 4D live broadcast room, a large number of barrages were set off. FK. It's the principal. We haven't seen him for half a year. He's been on the front lines for us humans. The principal is awesome. If I can become such a strong person in the future, I will definitely protect my homeland and become a great elder like the principal. Although I agree with your ideals, brother, I still want to say that you are dreaming. On the field, looking at the group of special recruitment teachers behind him, Feng Xiaoyao nodded and said, I watched the live broadcast on the way. This year's seedlings are all very good. You have done a great job, especially Yan Yun, who deserves praise. The voice is full of magnetism and very ethereal. After hearing his words, all the special recruitment teachers looked at Yan Yun with envy. Feng Xiaoyao's words made it very clear that he valued Sumo very much. The principal was very satisfied that Yan Yun was able to recruit such an outstanding talent for Mudu University. Well, Yan Yun's reward is much more than theirs. Advertisement. Before it was Shangguan Feiyan, and now it's Sumo. How come this girl is so lucky? Especially teacher Zhuang, who looked very miserable at this moment. I thought that by specially recruiting Li Tianyi, an S-level thunder monster, we would be able to defeat Yan Yun this year. Result. Oh, it hurts. Although the rewards were considerable, he was still not as good as Yan Yun, which had always been a thorn in his heart. In the video, Yan Yun smiled delicately and said, Principal, providing talents for Magic City University is what we, the specially recruited teachers, should do. Snort. A cold snort came from Feng Xiaoyao's mouth. You girl, you just wanted to get something from me. Ahem. Principal, please do as you please. After saying that, Yan Yun stuck out his tongue and hung up the video. Shaking his head, Feng Xiaoyao then looked at Sumo, looking him up and down. He sighed, Battle space. I still vaguely remember that when Changkong and I were young, we were competing for this. I didn't expect that you could break Changkong's record with Black Iron 6 stars, and even set an unprecedented winning streak. You were so promising at a young age. Sumo said modestly. It still requires hard work. Ha ha ha, just as humble as I was when I was young. Laughing heartily, Feng Xiaoyao looked at teacher Zhuang and said, you guys continue the competition. It's a rare opportunity to return to school. I'll just watch from the sidelines to relax. Don't worry about me. Yes, soon. Following teacher Zhuang's announcement, the second round of competition began, and Feng Xiaoyao sat quietly in a seat at the sidelines. Shangguan Feiyan and Yi Xiaoshui were called by him to sit aside. Fei Yan, I haven't seen you for a long time. How far have you come in your cultivation? Facing Feng Xiaoyao's kind greeting, Shangguan Feiyan said softly, Principal, I have reached silver 7 stars. Yes, you are much faster than I was back then. Ha 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 ha. You are worthy of being the little princess of the Shangguan family, the pride of our Magic City University. Shangguan Feiyan blushed. You still need to work hard. Feng Xiaoyao's mouth suddenly curled up, and he said with a strange smile, you are as modest as that boy. I heard from Yan Girl that you two are now boyfriend and girlfriend. Look, you say exactly the same thing, you are really a perfect match. Yi Xiaoshui, who was standing by, got furious when she heard this, but because the other party was the principal, she could only hold it in. Quote. Shangguan Feiyan's cheeks became redder and redder, and she didn't know how to respond. At this time in the center of the field, the second round of competition begins, with Yang Shang facing Yu Chang. S-Class Enhanced Mutant Demon Arm vs Speed Mutant Instant Acceleration. Both of them are Iron 3 stars. Advertisement. After a fierce battle, the final winner was Yu Chang. When it comes to the use of supernatural powers, Yu Chang is ultimately better. Round 2, Match 2, Cheng Wushang vs. Sumo. The words fell. Cheng Wushang, who was sitting next to Sumo, stood up and raised his hands. Teacher, I surrender. Are you kidding? Who can beat Brother Mo on this scene? Although he is a mad-blood golden lion, he still has to be timid when facing his big brother. Quote. Teacher Zhuang was speechless, and then continued to announce. Everyone at the scene was speechless. They still wanted to see if the mad-blood golden lion could perform a miracle and defeat Sumo. Feng Xiaoyao also looked at Cheng Wushang and said with a satisfied smile, if we talk about animal transformation abilities, our Magic City University should have the most talent this year. Moreover, this kid's bones and physical fitness are also the best among his peers. He has a bright future. The competition continued 2 hours later. The second round of the friendly match is gradually coming to an end. The strongest Sumo has almost won all the games and the strength he has shown is comprehensive. He used the Dragon Step, Observation Haki and a precise and violent punch to kill Yu Chang in an instant. The Alloy Guan Dao made 9 consecutive slashes, splitting the black light shield of Yang Zhang's demon arm and placing the sword at his throat. The rest of the people were also killed instantly in one move, without exception. This young man is incredible. Feng Xiaoyao was deeply moved at this moment, and had a more intuitive feeling about Sumo's talent. He dared to swear that although he was not sure about Sumo's future achievements, at this moment, the latter showed his ability to enter the school. Definitely the strongest freshman in the history of Magic City University. And after Sumo, Li Tianyi and Cheng Wushang performed the best. Except for Sumo, they swept their opponents. The last friendly match of the day, Sumo vs. Li Tianyi. The words fell. The student audience, whose hearts had been somewhat numbed by Sumo's shock, suddenly perked up again. I wonder if Li Tianyi, this S-level thunder monster, can take on Sumo's move. That's right. Now they no longer ask for anyone to defeat Sumo, but just ask to hold on and make the pervert use his second move. Before they knew it, even those seniors who initially disagreed with Sumo. At this moment, he has subconsciously acknowledged Sumo's identity as the strongest freshman. Anyone with eyes could see that horrific performance. Li Tianyi, you must withstand the first move. Withstanding one attack was the last bit of dignity for these seniors, and they all cheered for Li Tianyi in their hearts. Chapter 38. Becoming the top student ahead of time, the principal is so generous. Soon, Sumo and Li Tianyi walked to the center of the field together. Li Tianyi looked at Sumo at this time. Although he appeared calm and indifferent on the surface, he was actually very panicked inside. This can be seen from the slight twisting of the fingers of his hands behind his back. Sumo's performance just now was too terrifying. Even though he was proud and arrogant, he couldn't help but feel nervous when he really faced him. Come on, Junior Tianyi, you must withstand this attack. At this moment, someone suddenly shouted. Then, Tianyi, come on, if you can handle this move, I'll let you go for the big sword. That's right, we are S-level thunder monsters, we can't be killed instantly. Come on, Junior. Senior has already placed the bet. You can definitely survive this attack. Come on. Li Tianyi, who was walking towards the venue, almost staggered when he heard this, and his face suddenly turned as black as the bottom of a pot. %@. Is there anyone who is so encouraging? Thank you so much for your encouragement. Taking a deep breath, Li Tianyi looked at Sumo. He seemed to be stimulated and his anxiety was reduced a lot. Oh shit. One move. Who are you looking down on? I want to take 5. No. 10 moves. Thinking viciously, Li Tianyi's eyes gradually became sharper. Sumo didn't care too much about being stared at by Li Tianyi with such a sharp gaze. He was even thinking about what means he should use to kill the opponent in seconds. One cut in 1 second. Is one punch okay? Or maybe something a little fancier, a shocking force plus conquerors. Well, there are too many methods, it's a bit confusing. On the sidelines, Teacher Zhuang glanced at the two and immediately announced, the competition begins. The words fell. Dense electric flashes suddenly burst out from Li Tianyi's body, as if electric snakes were swimming around and making a crackling sound. The next moment, he rushed out, holding Shadow Thunder in one hand and a sharp sword in the other. Without reservation, the speed and thunderous destructive piercing were brought to the ultimate. Advertisement. However, when Li Tianyi was about to approach Sumo, he suddenly changed direction and was not in a hurry to attack. Instead, he rushed wildly around Sumo. He is scared. Sumo's strange ability would kill him instantly if he attacked rashly. Just look at what happened to Morongzi and you'll know. You have to look for opportunities, such as finding flaws or something, and then win with one strike. Just as he was thinking, a voice suddenly sounded in his ears, waiting for an opportunity. Little brother, do you think you are very fast? Let's go. Li Tian was shocked and just as he was about to turn around, a big footprint was already imprinted on his handsome face. Bang! Li Tianyi flew backwards on the spot, his head buzzing and he was at a loss. If I don't kick someone who's faster than me when I'm jumping back and forth in front of him, I feel like my intelligence is being insulted. Retracting his right foot, Sumo looked at Li Tianyi who was lying on the ground speechlessly. In the audience, the seniors who were cheering for Li Tianyi stopped abruptly, like ducks with their necks strangled. This is so embarrassing. Jumping back and forth in front of others and being killed instantly by a kick is more embarrassing than being killed head-on. Ha ha ha, Junior Sumo is awesome. You managed to hold off one move. I'm almost laughing so hard. Secret technique of jumping back and forth. Humph, it's all garbage in front of my junior's shadowless kick. My junior is so handsome. I love him so much, woohoo, I must go find him and ask for his WeChat ID later. Can I have a mail? +1, comma. The senior fans and the fans who like the look of the girl immediately cheered, forming a sharp contrast with the silent sour fans. Teacher Zhuang was also a little confused. He looked at Li Tianyi who was lying on the ground, and then sighed helplessly. In terms of speed, attack power, combat awareness and so on, there is a huge gap between them and Sumo. The defeat was not unfair. A real monster. Sitting on the sidelines, Feng Xiaoyao chuckled. Before Mr. Zhuang could make his announcement, he turned into a gust of wind and appeared beside Sumo. Patting the latter's shoulder with satisfaction, his ethereal and majestic voice immediately spread throughout the entire arena. From this moment on, Sumo will become the top freshman of the class of 3021 at Magic City University. As soon as these words were spoken, the audience and students at the scene and in the 4D live broadcast room, including all the specially recruited teachers, were stunned. Sumo becomes the top student ahead of schedule. Advertisement. This is too sudden. Didn't the competition for the top student position in previous years have to wait until the students had grown for 3 months? The next moment, everyone thought of a possibility. The principal thinks highly of Sumo, and he wants to make an exception for the latter. For a moment, everyone looked at Sumo enviously. I have become the top student before the school officially starts. What a great treatment. You know, the top student in each grade enjoys great privileges, even more than some teachers. The resources and benefits are even more exaggerated than the conditions for recruiting special talents. In terms of points, not only can you get a large amount of points every month, but you can also enjoy discounts on the federal Skynet. In short, the top students in each grade enjoy much more than all other students, including specially admitted students. Sumo had read the instructions on the app and naturally knew what the meaning of the chief student meant. He quickly looked at Feng Xiaoyao in surprise. Does the principal think so highly of him? Feng Xiaoyao smiled and said, this is what you deserve. Thank you, principal. I will not let you down. Ha ha ha. Great. That's the confidence. Laughing loudly, Feng Xiaoyao quietly handed Sumo an exquisite ring and then disappeared like a gust of wind. The special recruitment teachers who were all at the diamond level naturally saw this obscure scene, and their eyes were full of envy. The principal's private reward is definitely very generous. From that exquisite storage ring, you can tell that this is a mid-level, top-grade storage ring. Even some of their teachers are reluctant to buy it. This Su kid made a lot of money. Not only did he become the top student, he also won the favor of the principal and was rewarded privately. Wait a minute, these specially recruited teachers will also have to take out some rewards that were agreed upon in advance. Given to the student with the best performance in this friendly match. Sumo has just entered school, and the wealth he possesses now is probably more than most sophomores. Sheng Wushang ran over excitedly at this time, and gave Sumo a bear hug with ecstasy on his face. I knew that Brother Mo is the best. Ha ha ha. Congratulations on becoming the top student, Brother Mo. A dozen special recruits, except Morongzi, including Li Tianyi who had just woken up, came over. Everyone congratulated Sumo. Even if they were reluctant, they had to give him face. This is the chief student. With privileges in hand, one is sometimes even more terrifying than some teachers, so one has to put in some superficial work. You're welcome. We are all classmates. We still have to win glory for the school in the next freshman competition. Sumo responded one by one, with a smile on his face. Just now he had paid some attention to check the ring given to him by Feng Xiaoyao, and the things inside it made him feel very happy at the moment. That was quite a pleasure. Chapter 39 Abyssal Territory. Behind them, Shangguan Feiyan came with Yi Xiaoshui. She stared at Sumo with a slight smile on her face. Junior, congratulations on becoming the top student. She actually laughed. This smile was so sudden, like a snow lotus blooming on an iceberg. This made everyone nearby who were used to seeing Shangguan Feiyan's cold face slightly stunned. What a nice view. Even Yi Xiaoshui was stunned. She hadn't seen her best friend smile for a long time, right? Now he's actually smiling just to congratulate his stinky junior. For a moment, Yi Xiaoshui's pretty face puffed up like a bun. She was so angry that she didn't want to give Sumo any blessings at all. Sumo looked at Shangguan Feiyan and grinned. Senior sister, you are smiling again. Shangguan Feiyan blushed. I told you that you will naturally smile when you encounter happy things. Oh, are you happy for me? Although Shangguan Feiyan's pretty face was a little red, she nodded naturally. Well, Teacher Yanyan will be very happy too. The ambiguous conversation between the two made the male seniors who had not yet left feel jealous. In the 4D live broadcast room, a large number of sour comments were floating around. This dog food, FK me. Two people living in the same villa, something must have happened, otherwise it can't be so sweet, damn. Wow, wow, wow. Junior Feiyan has taken action. Do I, an old aunt in my junior year, still have a chance? Don't cry, sister. Although we don't have a chance head on, we can do it secretly, you know. Senior upstairs, I can do it. Roll, comma. Besides Sumo, Li Tianyi and other specially recruited boys were so jealous that they turned around and left. Oh shit, comparing yourself with others will only make you angry. When they are with Sumo, they seem to be just ordinary students. They are obviously monsters, awakened ones with S-level superpowers. Among the billions of people in the world, he is a favored one. But when they stood next to Sumo, they suddenly felt like they were nothing. Advertisement. She's not as strong as Sumo, and her luck with women isn't as good as Sumo's. Damn it, why wasn't Teacher Yan the one who recruited them? They also want to live with a goddess-like top student like Senior Shangguan. Shaking their heads miserably, these idiots walked directly to their seats and sat there in autism. Two of the specially recruited girls also ran to a distance to find a seat and sat down, then secretly looked at Sumo with curiosity. Student Su, stretch out your hand. The teacher will pass the reward for this friendly match to you. At this time, Teacher Zhuang touched his storage ring to Sumo's storage bracelet, and his mind moved. The things went directly into Sumo's storage bracelet. In Sumo's perception, there were actually some psychic stones, psychic energy liquid that strengthened the body, and a martial art. There is even a Federation coin. After the transmission, Teacher Zhuang said, bring your student ID card here, and there will be bonus points. Sumo excitedly took out his student ID, only to see Teacher Zhuang take out his teacher ID and start entering points. A total of 1,000 points. Add to that the more than 5,000 points of winning streak rewards from the previous challenge to the battle space. Sumo now has more than 6,000 points. This is more than some ordinary students who have saved up points for a year in their sophomore year. After giving out the rewards, Teacher Zhuang also took out some rewards and distributed them to special recruits such as Cheng Wushang. Sumo takes the big head. As a friendly match, the rest of their special recruits will naturally get some friendship rewards. Soon, after the distribution was completed, with an announcement from Teacher Zhuang, the friendly match was completely over. After the live broadcast room was closed, the audience left one after another. Such a monster, a little bit more powerful than I was at the beginning, not bad. If he grows up quickly, he will be qualified to be my brother-in-law, Shangguan Qinghong. The young man with a disdainful look looked at Sumo with satisfaction, then left with the pretty woman behind him. Sumo and others also left the martial arts hall. Back at the special admissions villa area, Cheng Wushang grinned and said, Brother Mo, I'll go back to the dormitory first. My dormitory is on the 27th. If you go to the Abyss territory tomorrow, just call me and I'll be there right away. After saying that, Cheng Wushang left. After everyone walked away, Shangguan Feiyan frowned and said, Junior, are you going to the Abyss territory tomorrow? Sumo nodded. Yeah, let's practice a little. Advertisement. Shangguan Feiyan frowned even deeper. Junior brother, you'd better not go to the Abyss territory recently, even if it's the maze. Anyway, your cultivation resources should be enough for the time being. If not, I can give them to you. Sumo ignored Shangguan Feiyan's suspicion that she wanted to support him, and asked in confusion, why can't I go? Yi Xiaoshui said solemnly, Stinky Jr., even though I hate you to death, I don't want anything to happen to you. You may have just arrived in Shanghai and don't know what happened recently, so let me tell you. Recently, in the Abyss territory, one of the most dangerous places outside, the monsters have been acting strangely, even in the outermost Abyss Novice Maze. According to the experience of the teachers, it is possible that the group of wise demon generals are planning something. Even if not, they can trigger a monster wave at any time. We ask students who are not yet in the Gold Realm not to go in for the time being. Monster Tide. Sumo was not surprised but happy when he heard this. The Monster Tide was introduced in the high school textbook. This seems to be due to the fight between high-level monsters, and the subsequent turmoil that followed, which is generally the case. But there are exceptions, that is, more intelligent monsters are planning among them. Planning how to capture important human-based cities has been a battle that has lasted for 1,000 years. The dangerous places surrounding the major human-based cities are actually the invasion frontiers of the intelligent monsters. But no matter what the reason is, every wave of monsters that is triggered will cause heavy losses to humans. The layers of war fortresses outside the base city were extremely difficult to defend, even with a large number of elite troops stationed there. Sometimes, they even broke through several layers of the fortress and were constantly forced to retreat. Such a disaster is very terrifying. Of course, Sumo wouldn't think so much at this time. For him, among all the dangerous places outside, the closest Abyss territory is his paradise for earning energy points. Golden Realm. With his current silver 4-star realm and his full strength, even if he can't win, he should be able to escape, right? And be careful when there is sight. He and Cheng Wushang should be fine in the Abyss Maze, a training ground for novices on the outskirts of the Abyss territory. Thinking about it, Sumo looked at the two women. Don't worry, I know what I am doing. Seeing this, Shangguan Feiyan frowned, but didn't know what to say. She suddenly took out an exquisite, shining crystal from her storage bracelet. This is a signal crystal. If you encounter danger, crush it immediately without hesitation. Got it. Yi Xiaoshui at the side also took out a special crystal and snorted. This is our Yi family's signal crystal. I'll give you one too. Crush it when you encounter danger. Although my Yi family doesn't have as deep a foundation as the Shangguan family, it is still quite influential in the Magic City. There are quite a few awakening pioneering teams scattered around. Looking at the two crystals stretched out in front of him, Sumo expressed his desire to refuse them. But before he could utter a word, those two delicate hands suddenly grabbed his hands and forcefully stuffed them in. Chapter 40 Silver 5-star, Heavenly Devil Fist. Feeling the wonderful touch of the two jade hands, he looked at the two crystals in his palms. Sumo always feels like she's being kept. The exclusive signal crystal is an important rescue item for a powerful force. There are main crystals and a large number of secondary crystals. As long as the main crystal is crushed, the awakening pioneer team with the secondary crystal, or the rest of the family can sense it. No matter what you are doing, even if you are seriously injured, you must crawl over to support me. Because the person who holds this crystal is often an important figure in the family, as a retainer and guard, you must risk your life for him. Now, Sumo owns two main crystals from the Shangguan family and the Yi family. That is to say, once Sumo crushes the main crystal, as long as the secondary crystal receives the signal, people from the two families must come to protect him. He has the power to protect himself. I don't want to be a gigolo who is protected by others. After carefully putting the two crystals into the storage ring, Sumo quickly looked up at the two girls. Thank you, senior sister. Shangguan Feiyan nodded with satisfaction when she saw Sumo put the crystal away. Then he walked into the villa, and an ethereal voice came. Junior, didn't you say you wanted to try the new dishes I made? To celebrate my junior becoming the top student. Hey, then I want to eat prawns and have a seafood feast. Hearing this, Shangguan Feiyan nodded, then went upstairs, and Sumo followed with a smile. Yi Xiaoshui behind him was dumbfounded. What's going on? Why are these two people becoming more and more natural? For a moment, she felt a huge sense of crisis, but she could do nothing about it. Damn it, should I ask those little devils in the family to seduce this stinky junior? With all sorts of random thoughts in her mind, Yi Xiaoshui walked upstairs with an unhappy look on her face. After eating and drinking, Sumo returned to his room, or to be more precise, a training room. There are as many as 5 or 6 such training rooms on each floor of the villa. After closing the door of the training room, Sumo sat cross-legged on the ground, then poured out the contents of the storage props with a smile on his face. After a while, the alloy floor is covered with various cultivation resources. There are liquid medicines, medicines for restoring spiritual energy and healing injuries, cards for temporarily storing federal coins, and martial arts. The most numerous of them are the psychic stones, which are also Sumo's favorite. Although they are all low grade and inferior, they are given by Feng Xiaoyao, rewards for consecutive wins, and those from friendly matches. That's quite a lot when you count them all. Of course, the harvest was still not as great as the time we encountered a low-level psychic energy vein. System, convert all of them into energy points. Advertisement. As Sumo finished speaking, the psychic stone on the ground was immediately absorbed by the system and began to dim. Ding. The host absorbed a low-grade psychic stone and gained 90 energy points. Ding. The host absorbed a low-grade psychic stone and gained 85 energy points. Ding. The host absorbed a low-grade psychic stone and gained 107 energy points. Ding. The host absorbed a low-grade psychic stone. When coming from Tianai City, Sumo had already used up the remaining energy points to unlock the template. He improved in all aspects and his cultivation level reached silver 4 stars, which could be said to be very poor. Now, finally, energy points are being credited to the account. After a few minutes, the psychic stone was completely absorbed. A total of 32,761 energy points were obtained. Anyway, it's pretty good. After all, if these psychic stones were given to ordinary students for cultivation, they would be enough for almost a semester. Even for the specially recruited students with S-level talents, even if the energy they need is greater than others, it will be enough for 2 or 3 months. And more than 30,000 is enough for Sumo to unlock 3% of the shock power, tut. However, the feedback will be an all-round improvement, including spirit, psychic power, physical strength, etc. The price of being invincible at the same level is a huge amount of consumption. It's an equal exchange. More than 30,000. Sitting cross-legged on the ground, Sumo began to secretly think about how to spend. Should I save up enough 100,000 to activate the infinite space mentioned by the system, or continue to unlock and improve my cultivation? He is now at the silver 4-star level. Seriously, he can easily crush anyone below the gold level. If you only go to the upper and middle levels of the abyss maze and not the bottom level, it will be enough for the time being. But I'm afraid of accidents. Although the abyss labyrinth has been occupied by humans, it will be fine as long as you don't continue to go to the real abyss territory. But there are also third-level monsters. After thinking about it, Sumo decided to unlock the template. The storage space would be enough for him for the time being. The intermediate grade storage ring that Feng Xiaoyao gave to you was quite large. Click on Whitebeard's character template. The power of shock unlocked 15%. Conqueror's Haki unlocked 8.2%. Armament Haki basic unlocked 40%. Observation Haki elementary unlocked 20.4%. Advertisement. Physical skills unlocked 10.7%. Sword skills unlocked level 20.6%. Except for Conquerors and Armament Color Sumo which have not been used recently, the rest have been added more or less. Well, just a few tenths of a second. It's just a tiny bit. Then exchange it for 2% of the shock force and 5% of the physical skills. After thinking about it, Sumo clicked on redemption. The next moment, boom, several forces are fed back. Sumo felt it quietly. After about 10 minutes, the force gradually faded away. Silver 5 stars. The feeling of increased strength is just great. Standing up, Sumo's body suddenly made a crackling sound and his bones rumbled, as if he had endless energy. Then he picked up 2 martial arts on the ground. One was given by Feng Xiaoyao, and the other was rewarded by teacher Zhuang and others. Tiangong Demon Fist, a top-level intermediate style, is a style of boxing that displays violence to the fullest, and has very strict requirements on strength. In fact, one must be at least at the Silver Realm to practice. Because only when you reach the Silver Realm, the amount of spiritual energy increases, and it can attach to the body surface over a large area. With the help of the Tiangong Demon Fist, the physical strength and spiritual energy are combined, and under compression, a violent fist force like a demon's roar is blasted out. Even some awakened ones with elemental or strong attack powers, if they reach the first level of supernatural powers, can follow their mood. They can also be compressed and blended together into the Tiangong Demon Fist. When the 3 are combined into one, the power that erupts will be extremely terrifying. Haha, the principal is so generous that he actually gave me such an advanced martial art that can be used in conjunction with superpowers. Sumo is currently lacking a martial art that can bring out his physical abilities. This Tiangong Demon Fist can be said to be tailor-made for him. Is he physically strong? No further words needed. Even if I can't achieve the large-scale overflow of spiritual energy at the silver level, it can compress the power of the shock and the strength of the body, and even cooperate with the armed color to blast out the Tiangong Demon Fist. That scene is so scary just thinking about it. Who can take his punch? I guess it's not easy to be in the Golden Realm. Looking forward to it, Sumo grinned and said, "System, I want to discuss something with you. You said before that only martial arts produced by the system can enjoy the benefits of entry. Can you make some adjustments? You know, it is difficult for a top intermediate level cultivator to master the art in a short period of time, even for a strong person at the Golden Realm. Although he is quite confident in his own understanding, time is precious." At this time, the cold voice of the system came, but it sounded so comfortable to Sumo's ears. The purpose of the system has always been to help the host become stronger. You can enjoy this benefit by consuming energy points for martial arts outside the system. Chapter 41. Is it that specially recruited students are worthless, or is Shanghai University getting too arrogant? System, I love you. Grinning, Sumo then continued to ask, how many points are needed to enter this martial art? It depends on the level. The entry level of intermediate and upper grade requires 10,000 energy points. The words fell. Sumo's mouth twitched, and he looked at his remaining 3,000 points. Well, still poor. No matter how much you earn, it never feels like enough. Damn it. This time when I go out, I must kill as many people as I can. Thinking viciously, Sumo picked up another martial art. Thunderous body movement, low-level upper grade. A body technique. He shook his head. Sure enough, it couldn't compare with the principles. But on the market, it is definitely considered a noble martial art, and many awakeners in the silver and gold realms are scrambling to get it. But he already has the dragon step now, and the system's products, even if they are low-grade upper-quality ones, are more exquisite than the average mid-grade lower-quality ones. The most important thing is that he has achieved minor success in his cultivation and does not need other body techniques for the time being, unless they are advanced ones. Leave it to Takeo or Dae. Although Chang Wushang fights in beast form, awakened beasts with human thinking can also practice martial arts. There are many people who can perform martial arts with the body of an animal if they know how to use it skillfully. After collecting the things on the ground and consolidating his strength, Sumo went back to the bedroom to rest. On the second day, Chang Wushang arrived outside Villa Building 10 early. This guy had thick eyebrows and big eyes that were piercing and full of fighting spirit. He arrived early without Sumo's reminder. Hearing the doorbell, Sumo stood up and opened the door. Wushang, have you talked to your special recruitment teacher? Chang Wushang grinned and said, he said that all the dangerous places, including the Abyss territory, are not peaceful now, so don't go out for the time being. But I have made up my mind, and he can't stop me. However, the teacher did give me some life-saving things. Sumo nodded. Then he was stunned. Oh shit, shouldn't he also tell Yan Yun that he was going out into the wild and then steal some life-saving stuff? Although there were some of them among the things Feng Xiaoyao gave. But of course, the more life-saving things you have, the better. Just thinking about it. Didi, Dad, the phone is ringing. Dad, the phone is ringing. It's Yan Yun calling. Advertisement. Taking out the phone, Sumo clicked on it and answered, Teacher. Brother, I'm so proud of you. I was so excited that I couldn't sleep last night after learning that you became the top student. As usual, it started with some dirty talk, and Sumo really wanted to hang up. But soon, the silly teacher returned to his serious state. I heard from Fei Yan that you are going to the Abyss territory. Sumo points out, Humph, I know your character. It's useless to persuade you. I have asked Teacher Lu to bring some things to you. On the other end of the phone, Yan Yun's tone gradually became serious and he said, remember, you can only stay in the Abyss Labyrinth, and you cannot enter the Abyss territory. Do you understand? If anything happens to you, not only will the principal find trouble with me, but I, your sister, will be heartbroken. The first half of the sentence sounded fine, but Sumo chose to ignore the second half. I understand, teacher. Thank you for your concern. I will pay attention to it. Well, my brother is so good, sister. After hanging up the phone, without giving the woman a chance to flirt with him, Sumo turned to look at Chang Wushang. Let's go. At this time, Shangguan Feiyan came downstairs without knowing when, looked at Sumo and said softly, do you want me to accompany you? There was concern in his voice. Senior, if you come, I won't be able to train you. Don't worry, I will pay attention. After saying that, Sumo took Chang Wushang and left. On the way, Chang Wushang admired. Brother Mo, how can I be as charming as you? Walking in front, Sumo said without looking back, don't be a bootlicker. Hearing this, Chang Wushang's body trembled, and at this moment, he seemed to understand. After taking the life-saving items entrusted by Yan Yun from Teacher Lu, Sumo and Chang Wushang walked out of the magnificent school gate. I have to say, although Yan Yun teased him with a lot of dirty talk, what he gave was really good. Not to mention the exclusive signal crystals, there are also some items that can withstand one-time attacks from third-level monsters. Too much pampering, huh? It seems that the Yan family is not much inferior to the Shangguan family. It is an ancient family. It is a huge monster that has been passed down from the extraordinary era. This specially recruited teacher of mine seems to be the apple of my eye. Sumo, really doesn't want to be treated as a gigolo. Shaking his head, Sumo stopped a hover taxi. Master, base station. Soon, the hovercraft rushed to the exit station. When they arrived, Chang Wushang was shocked by the scene before him. So many awakened people want to go out. Didn't they say that things are not peaceful recently? There was a huge crowd of people in front of the exit station. All of them were awakened people carrying alloy weapons and wearing combat uniforms. Some have a strong aura, while others look weak and fragile. But there are not many students. In the past, students from various universities would often go out to kill monsters in order to gain points, while training at the same time. But now there are very few of them. They are all individual awakeners trying to make a living, or small alliances of awakeners formed temporarily. Of course, there are also many pioneering teams from various major forces. Although it's not peaceful, for the sake of cultivation and life, most people still choose to give it a try. Advertisement. Sumo was also shocked by the scene before him. The number of awakened people at this exit alone is more than the total number of awakened people in Tianai City, right? And Demon City has countless exit points scattered around the city. Let's go. When they got on the alloy armored vehicle leaving the station, a Silver Realm officer began to inspect it. When he saw Sumo's awakening certificates, he was shocked. Students from Shanghai University, and specially recruited freshmen. So rare. I actually encountered 2S level monsters. But after being surprised, he frowned. Haven't all the major universities received news from the military recently? It's better for students not to go out for now, it's dangerous. The Magic City University was so good that it directly sent 2S level special recruits out to gain experience. Are special admissions already cheap? Or are those teachers drifting away? If anything happens, it will not only be a loss for the school, but a loss for all mankind. As a military man, he knows how tense the current situation of mankind is. The 9 demon-suppressing armies are fighting outside, and the battles are extremely brutal in their efforts to retake human territory. If even the hope for the future behind us is gone, then humanity will be very close to despair. Thinking about this, the officer said, "Students, does your teacher know that you are going out?" Sumo and the others nodded calmly. Quote. The officer was silent. In the end, he could only remind Sumo and the others to be more careful and stopped asking any more questions. After all, school affairs are the responsibility of the school, and the military should not interfere. 3 hours later, the armored vehicle arrived at a dense forest shrouded in black fog with no end in sight. 100 meters ahead, there was a pitch-black cave entrance that looked like the bloody mouth of a giant beast, at least 1,000 meters wide. This is the Abyss Maze closest to the human fortress before reaching the Abyss territory. It is said that this underground maze was created by a powerful king with Earth-related supernatural powers when he was killing monsters. As monsters wandered in, over the years, a maze of monster caves was formed where monsters lived. Following a large number of awakened teams, Sumo and the others walked silently behind. Half an hour later, we arrived at a dense black forest at the top of the maze, surrounded by cold winds and fog. Before Sumo and the others could fully adapt to the dark environment around them, they were ambushed by a first-stage black-scaled snake. Brother Mo, you don't have to deal with this little snake, let me do it. Cheng Wushang grinned, and immediately with a roar, he turned into a mad bloody golden lion. Haki, who was nearly 3 meters tall, appeared with a golden glow. He roared and rushed towards the black-scaled snake. Chapter 42. Start Team Mode. Cheng Wushang was very fast. With a few leaps, Haki had already pounced above the black-scaled snake. Swish. While in midair, he slapped the black-scaled snake's head with a golden claw. Phew. The black-scaled snake didn't even have a chance to react. It was torn apart on the spot, blood splattered, and it broke into pieces and fell to the ground. After regaining his human form, Cheng Wushang was wrapped in the combat suit that he had purchased at great expense. He walked towards Sumo with a smile. Brother Mo, you don't have to deal with these low-level monsters in the future, just let me deal with them. Quote. Sumo was silent, with a look of pain in the corners of his eyes, and he looked at the miserable black-scaled snake imperceptibly. He really wanted to say to Cheng Wushang, let the big brother come, and you just shout 666. Damn, more than a dozen energy points were gone just like that. If Cheng Wushang is asked to deal with subsequent low-level monsters, how can he earn energy points? No matter how small a mosquito is, it is still meat. Ding. Team mode starts loading. Ding. Team mode loading. 1%, 8%, 17%. Sudden. Just when he wanted to explain the pros and cons to Cheng Wushang, the system's cold voice came. Sumo was stunned. Team mode. Host. After the team mode is turned on, you will also gain energy points when your designated team members kill creatures. The proportion of energy points gained depends on the level of the team mode. The team mode that is about to be turned on is level 1, and you will gain 10% of the energy points. The number of team members is 3. The level of the team mode requires energy points to upgrade. Currently, the upgrade level is level 2, which requires 10,000 energy points. The level 2 team mode gains 20% from the team members. The number of team members is 6. When the level of the team mode is upgraded to a certain level, the team members will also receive corresponding benefits. Listening to the introduction of the system, Sumo almost wanted to laugh out loud. Cool. This team mode is really a timely help. With this model, the previous problem will no longer be a problem, and the speed of collecting energy points will be increased in the future. It will rise sharply. As long as he designates Cheng Wushang and subsequent team members as team members, he can continue to upgrade the level of the team mode. Will there still be a shortage of energy points? The efficiency is definitely higher than killing monsters by yourself. At this moment, Sumo suddenly understood the feelings of those black-hearted bosses. Of course, he is not a black-hearted boss. The subsequent team members are all people that Sumo trusts, as long as their levels are raised. Advertisement. These team members will also benefit, which is a win-win situation. Ding. Team mode loading completed. The current level is level 1, the feedback ratio is 10%, and the team has 3 members. Ding. The host only needs to come into contact with the target, and the system will automatically generate a team relationship. Hearing this, Sumo's mouth corners gradually perverted, and he walked forward and patted Chang Wushang on the shoulder. Great, well done. This evil smile is very strange. Coupled with his handsome face, it will definitely make those senior female fans scream. Chang Wushang was flattered when he was patted on the shoulder. Although his anus tightened subconsciously, he still smiled. He felt a little flattered to be praised by such a monstrous genius like Brother Mo. Very good. Next time, I must work harder to kill monsters so that Brother Mo will continue to praise me, haha. Ding. Chang Wushang has been added to the team. The system sound dropped. Sumo seemed to feel that she had established a strange relationship with Chang Wushang, as if she could always determine the latter's location. Suddenly, he thought of an interesting question. System, can I bring in some awesome people? If I encounter someone of the principal's level, can you join in? In this way, it will definitely be more effective. Ding. The designated character must have a lower or equal level of cultivation than the host. Those with higher levels cannot join the team. Hearing this, Sumo nodded. Sure enough, this kind of bug cannot be exploited. Without thinking any more, he and Chang Wushang immediately started to dissect the black-scaled snake. The snake's scales and gallbladder can be sold for money. After a while, the two set off again. Although the top level of this abyss maze is underground, it is actually not small. At a glance, you can't see the end at all. The fog obscured everything, and the cries of monsters could be heard from time to time. If you were a timid person, you would definitely be scared to death. Of course, for Sumo, who possesses the ability of observation, this is just a superficial trick. After a while, he took Chang Wushang to find a first-stage mid-stage ape monster covered with black scales. Looking at Chang Wushang, Sumo smiled and said, "Are you sure? Mid-stage first level, equivalent to a human black iron 4 to 6-star awakener. If it were an awakened person with ordinary talent, it would be absolutely difficult to match him. But Chang Wushang is a monster with S-level talent. Although he is only a 4-star, it should not be difficult. Brother Mo, you underestimate me too much, don't you?" Chang Wushang walked towards the grinning demon ape with a confident smile. "I have slaughtered a late-stage first-order demon before." After saying, "Roar," he directly transformed into a mad bloody golden lion, with a pair of bloodshot eyes and golden hair, and pounced on the enemy without saying a word. Advertisement. Low-level monsters have no intelligence. When the demon ape saw Chang Wushang rushing towards it, it slapped its chest and roared. He raised his fists and jumped up. However, facing Chang Wushang's sharp claws. Clang. After the sound of metal clashing, the demon ape's iron fists were beaten into a bloody mess, and it fell down with a miserable howl. Chang Wushang took advantage of the situation and did not let the monkey go. He suddenly dropped down and attacked again with his sharp claws. Sumo watched from the side and nodded secretly. I have to say, Chang Wushang is really strong. He was sure that this guy definitely didn't use his full strength in the friendly match. If he unleashed all his power, Li Tianyi would definitely not be his opponent. The Mad Blood Golden Lion is indeed worthy of being a legendary beast. Roar. Die. After another fierce fight, Chang Wushang found the right moment and pierced the demon ape's heart with his sharp claws, slapping and flicking it. The demon ape flew backwards on the spot, deader than dead. Ding. Chang Wushang killed the first stage mid-stage demon armored ape and obtained 3 energy points. You can actually gain energy points. Sumo's eyes flashed with ecstasy. A mid-stage first-order monster can obtain about 30 energy points, and 10% is exactly 3 points. Ha ha, not bad, not bad. Although what you get now is a bit small, as long as you upgrade to the second-level team later, it will be even higher. Then the team members joined one after another. The effect will definitely increase exponentially. In a good mood, Sumo no longer hesitated, and used his observation haki to its full potential, leading Chang Wushang to continue killing. This time, he did not hold back and killed even low-level monsters quickly. Only when they encounter a large number of monsters will they fight side by side. At this moment, Chang Wushang truly witnessed Sumo's strength, and he kept saying 666. Just now, he saw with his own eyes how his elder brother, with one strike of his sword, killed 2 first-order late-stage peak monsters instantly. You know, that is equivalent to the peak of Black Iron 9 stars for humans. Damn it, Brother Mo is really awesome. Chapter 43. Diverting the Trouble. After killing several late-stage first-order monsters in seconds, Chang Wushang swallowed his saliva and said, Brother Mo, you are so powerful. He now had no doubt that Brother Mo could even kill a second-level monster. Even a low-level silver awakener can't do this with such an easy movement as cutting vegetables and melons, right? Awesome. My Brother Mo is definitely the coolest freshman in this class, in all universities. Yesterday I heard that ruthless guy with dual superpowers was nothing but trash in front of my Brother Mo. At this moment, Chang Wushang has completely become a fanboy of Sumo. Either it is blowing or it is on the way to blowing. Facing Chang Wushang's admiring eyes, Sumo smiled faintly and said, Not bad, let's go, clean up and continue. Good. Chang Wushang's body trembled, and at this moment, he understood again. I remembered what someone else said. Invisible pretense is the most deadly. Brother Mo, this should be the kind of person he is, right? For the next period of time, Cheng Wushang followed Sumo and continued to kill monsters. It was not until he encountered an early second stage monster that he understood what Mo Jie meant by, not bad. The monster in the early stage of the second stage was killed instantly by a single sword after spitting out a water cannonball. That's right. Just after they met, he spit out his elemental attack, and then was killed instantly by Sumo's close-range drift. Well, it's really okay. Now even if Sumo shows stronger strength, Cheng Wushang doesn't find it strange at all. Because he has become numb and has become a tool who can only shout 666. A few hours later, Cheng Wushang was already out of breath after killing a first-stage late-stage monster in a fierce battle. He was not as physically fit as Sumo, so he was able to hold on for nearly an entire afternoon and dusk. He had already gritted his teeth and persevered. In order not to be looked down upon by Brother Mo, he really tried his best and killed nearly dozens of monsters. Seeing this, Sumo also stopped and looked at Cheng Wushang with satisfaction. Thank you for your hard work, Wushang, let's leave it at that for today. He had seen Cheng Wushang's performance over the past half day. It can be said that this young man with thick eyebrows and big eyes not only has amazing talent, but also has exaggerated perseverance. I can definitely compete with my previous self, that ferocity. After a while, Sumo found a relatively hidden dark cave. As soon as Cheng Wushang came in, he lay on the ground and gasped for breath. Advertisement. With sweat pouring down his forehead, Sumo took out a bottle of drinking water from his storage ring and handed it to him. Thank you, Brother Mo. After saying thank you, the guy gulped it down into his mouth. Sumo sat cross-legged on the ground and looked at him, smiling. Wushang, I told you to rest before, but you insisted on holding on. Now you can't even stand up. Cheng Wushang took a deep breath, recovered his strength and looked at Sumo. I want to be as strong as you, Brother Mo. After he finished speaking, his thick eyebrows and big eyes revealed memories, and he said painfully, before the old beggar died, he hoped that I could become a man who could stand tall and defend my country. The old beggar was killed by the monster because he was protecting others. At that time, I was as weak as an ant, and could only be protected by others. I watched my loved ones being devoured. From that moment on, I secretly vowed that I would become stronger and become the man that the old beggar said I would be, strong enough to protect my loved ones. I never want to experience that feeling again, so I have to work hard. Quote. Looking at the determined young man, Sumo could only pat him on the shoulder and said firmly, you can become a man who stands tall and proud. I, Sumo, can guarantee it. It was Brother Mo who became the strongest man standing tall first, and I followed closely behind. Looking at Cheng Wushang who suddenly became optimistic, Sumo also smiled. Okay, let's all become the strongest men. After that, Sumo took out some medicines for restoring physical and spiritual energy, including source liquid for enhancing physical fitness, and handed them to Cheng Wushang. You should have a good rest. Take these things. I don't need them right now. Cheng Wushang quickly refused. How can this be? This is yours, Brother Mo. Here, seeing Sumo's tough look, Cheng Wushang accepted it with difficulty, gritting his teeth and said, Brother Mo, I will definitely not let you down. After saying that, he sat down cross-legged and started taking medicine. Sumo smiled with satisfaction, then closed his eyes and opened the system in his mind. Host. Sumo. Open black lens bracket cultivation close black lens bracket. Silver realm 5-star. Superpower, shock force S+, Conqueror's Haki S. Martial arts, heavy sword 9-strike combo, intermediate lower grade. Minor success dragon step, low upper grade, minor success. Open black lens bracket energy points close black lens bracket, 10,890. Character template Edward Newgate, click on the template list to learn more about the character and unlock level. After he and Cheng Wushang worked hard for half a day. Adding the remaining 3,000 energy points, the energy points finally reached 10,000 points. And this was just good luck, as we discovered a low-level monster's nest, otherwise there would probably be fewer. I have 10,000 points now. System, please help me get started with the Heavenly Gang Devil Fist. After careful consideration, Sumo decided to learn this violent martial art first. The effect of improving the team mode is not very significant at the moment. After all, there is only Cheng Wushang, which is very limited in number. If he learns the Tiangong Demon Fist, it can become one of his trump cards. After weighing the pros and cons, it is more practical to increase strength. Advertisement. Soon, with the initiation of the system. All the power-generating techniques for the entry level of Tiangong Demon Fist and the mysterious combination of various powers flooded into Sumo's mind. If he wasn't afraid of disturbing Cheng Wushang, he would have just stood up and performed his technique. This kind of initiation gives me the feeling of being able to have complete and direct control. It feels so good. Boom. At this moment, a burst of breath suddenly came from the side. Sumo turned to look at Cheng Wushang. This guy was actually promoted to Black Iron 5-star. Sure enough, only by constantly challenging your limits in fighting can you break through the shackles. Looking at Cheng Wushang, who opened his eyes, Sumo smiled and said, "Congratulations, Wushang. Ha ha ha. Brother Mo's resources played a role. It's because of your own hard work. Okay, take a rest after consolidating your efforts. We will continue tomorrow." "Got it, Mo Jie. The next day, the two walked out of the cave early in the morning. After a night's rest, Cheng Wushang is already full of energy. It must be said that the Beast Awakeners have strong recovery ability. Patting Cheng Wushang on the shoulder, Sumo said with a smile, "Today's goal is higher than yesterday's. Can you handle it?" Hearing the meaning of Sumo's words, Cheng Wushang raised his eyebrows and grinned. "Brother Mo, there is no such thing as whether a man can withstand it or not, he must withstand it. Okay, let's go." Half an hour later, the two had slaughtered no less than 100 monsters. Of course, most of them were killed by Sumo. But Cheng Wushang is not bad either, and his efficiency is definitely much better than yesterday. The two began to dissect quickly. They were all materials and should not be wasted. However, just as the two were about to take action, in Sumo's observation color, a team of young awakeners were actually approaching them, followed by a large number of monsters. Although Sumo was confused, he didn't want to throw away these materials, so he could only stand there and see what was going on. After a while, the awakened team rushed out of the bushes, whether intentionally or unintentionally, and saw Sumo and the other person, and their eyes lit up. Without saying a word, he ran past the two people, then ran in two different directions. Soon, the monster that was rushing over from behind also rushed out of the bushes, discovered Sumo and the others, and pounced on them to kill them on the spot. Among them, there is actually a late-stage second-stage monster. Seeing this, Sumo picked up Cheng Wushang and ran away quickly. His eyes gradually became as cold as a knife. Were he and Cheng Wushang the ones to whom the disaster was directed? Chapter 44. Brother Mo is coming, I will definitely kill you. Cheng Wushang was very confused at the moment. He was carried on Sumo's shoulders and felt the sharp cold wind blowing from both sides. Then he looked at the group of monsters behind him that looked like wolves and tigers, with bloodshot and crazy eyes. He said unwillingly, "Brother Mo, our materials." No matter how slow-witted he was, he knew that the two of them must have been framed for something wrong. Grass. The awakened team that suddenly appeared actually dared to treat him and Brother Mo as fools. Sumo ran quickly with a blank expression on his face. "It's just some materials, let's go first, as for them, hee hee." A cold laugh revealed endless murderous intent. As expected, when you are in the wild, you not only have to be wary of monsters, but also humans. Just because of that moment of hesitation, he and Cheng Wushang were tricked by that team of awakened ones and were in deep crisis. This is enough to prove that human nature is 10 or 100 times more dangerous than monsters. Feeling the murderous intent from Sumo, Cheng Wushang couldn't help but shudder. It was the first time he saw Brother Mo like this. Looking up at the monsters behind him again, his thick eyebrows suddenly frowned. "Brother Mo, this is a bit strange. The group of monsters behind us did not stop devouring the monsters we killed. You know, for monsters, the flesh and blood of their companions can be devoured and grown. They did not stop." Sumo sneered. That group of awakened ones angered them, either because of the treasure or because they killed the cub of the second-level monster that led them. Their reverse scales were touched, so naturally these monsters went crazy. He also sensed this strange scene through his observation haki. Not a single monster stopped to devour the corpses, and all of them followed the tiger monster at the peak of the late second stage and attacked madly. It seems that there are only humans in his eyes. Hearing this, Cheng Wushang became anxious. "What should we do, Brother Mo? These monsters behind us look so fierce." The tall black and white demonic tiger in the lead gave him a feeling of suffocation of death and was much more terrifying than the second-level monster he had encountered before. And behind him were no less than 10 second-level monsters and thousands of first-level monsters. If he is caught up, Brother Mo may die or not, but he, Cheng Wushang, will definitely die. "Takeo, wait until I put you down and you follow the group of people. Remember, safety is the most important thing. Don't get caught. Wait for me to come find you. Got it?" Hearing Sumo's words, Cheng Wushang was stunned, and then his eyes widened. "Brother Mo, you want to stay?" Sumo nodded calmly. Yeah. Although he was trying to divert the trouble away, weren't these monsters behind him also energy points? If Cheng Wushang had not been beside him just now, he would have stopped killing the monsters long ago for fear of being swarmed by the monsters and being in danger. After that, there is no rush to destroy the awakened team. Advertisement. With his ability of seeing and hearing, he would never let go even if it meant turning upside down the entire abyss maze. Kill. Sumo's words made Cheng Wushang shake his head violently. "No, I can't let you take risks, Brother Mo. Don't worry, I'm fine. If you stay, I won't be able to perform. Your task is to keep up with that group of people. Pay attention to yourself and try not to let them run away. Wait for me to come back." After saying that, Sumo threw Cheng Wushang directly towards the group of people running to the left. He then turned around, and a white halo immediately appeared on his iron fist, and his spiritual energy and physical strength frantically drove the power of vibration. Buzz. The buzzing sound continued to vibrate, with a power far beyond that of the past. This time, there should be quite a few energy points, right? Licking the corner of his mouth, Sumo punched out with an iron fist. Snap! A strange sound of glass breaking was heard immediately, and the thin cracks continued to spread in the space along his fist. 10 meters, 20 meters, 35 meters. It wasn't until about 40 meters that it came to a complete stop. The distance that the shock force in front blasted out was more than 100 meters. This time, the spatial area and affected distance are definitely the largest since the shock fruit was used. Buzz buzz buzz, boom. I saw the group of monsters coming in like an overwhelming force, and the bodies that pounced on them in midair were directly shaken into large pieces of flesh and blood. Only the late-stage second-level demon tiger and several agile second-level monsters sensed the danger early and jumped away in advance. But he was also affected, with blood gushing out of his body, looking very miserable. Bound, bound, bound. Countless monsters and trees in the dense forest were constantly shattered, turning into a sea of blood mixed with wood chips. On the ground, a dark gully was plowed out, which was 100 meters long, several dozen meters wide, and more than 1 meter deep. The smoke and dust rolled and the vibration continued. When the aftermath of the punch had completely dissipated, a full 1/5 of it, hundreds of monsters passing by along the way were directly killed by one punch. Advertisement. Ding. The host killed a mid-level first-order power lizard and gained 28 energy points. Ding. The host killed the first stage late-stage fire ape and obtained 50 energy points. Ding. The host killed the second stage early stage demon armored ape and obtained 146 energy points. Ding. Host killed a late stage first order. Comma comma. A series of prompt sounds immediately rang in Sumo's mind, so beautiful and pleasant to hear. Cool. With a grin, he no longer hesitated, raised the alloy guando, used the armed color, and rushed directly into the remaining group of monsters. At full firepower, Sumo was like a god of war, wielding the guando. Wherever he passed, blood splattered, and no monster could stop him. Comma comma. At the same time, in a small mountain stream 10,000 meters away, a group of people stopped. It was the team of young awakeners who reunited. After discovering that there were no monsters chasing them, they gathered again. They are actually students of Linhai University in Shanghai, and are key students in their sophomore and junior years. The purpose of this trip is naturally to gain experience. And they were very lucky, they actually found a soul-expanding spark. This soul-expanding spark can open up a spiritual energy spring and provide spiritual medicine with an 80% chance of advancement to the Golden Realm. It is a precious elixir of intermediate and superior quality. For this, they narrowly escaped death and from the mouth of the evil tiger, but were also hunted down madly. Fortunately, we found 2 scapegoats and now we have finally gotten rid of the crisis. A woman standing in the middle of the crowd gasped and looked at the young man next to her. Senior, is it not good for us to do this? Those 2 seem to be students too. When she said this, she didn't feel any guilt at all, and even had a smile on her face. The other awakened students beside them also laughed when they heard this. One of them, a girl with heavy makeup and a face like an internet celebrity, covered her mouth and teased, "Did you see it just now? When we rushed out, those 2 guys were still standing there in a daze. They have no common sense in the wild, they deserve it." The young senior was the captain of this team. Upon hearing this, he smiled gently and said, "You are all probably laughing to death in your hearts because you can obtain the soul expansion spark without hurting anyone. Why are you still pretending to be a saint?" Ha ha ha. A group of students, including the weird woman, immediately started laughing. On a rock about 10 meters away, Cheng Wushang looked at the group of people from Linhai University with gritted teeth. He clenched his fists tightly and said, "You bunch of bastards. Just wait for me. If Brother Mo can come over, I will definitely kill you. Damn it." Chapter 45 Arriving in time. Who? Just as Cheng Wushang's murmur fell, in the awakening team of Linhai University. A short young awakener suddenly shouted and looked in the direction of the rock where Cheng Wushang was. Oh no, there's a reconnaissance awakener. On the rock, Cheng Wushang's face changed drastically. He was careless. He actually forgot such an important thing. A team of awakeners must have this kind of auxiliary type of awakeners. Without saying a word, Cheng Wushang transformed into a mad-blood golden lion and fled desperately. Below. Captain, it's one of those 2 people just now. Upon hearing this, the young captain's face darkened and he quickly dodged and chased after him. The other students looked at the short young man and said, "Are you sure it was one of those 2? Facing such a monster, how could they?" The short young man snorted coldly. "My ability is AB level hearing amplification. I can hear the general sound within 10 meters, no matter how small it is. I led you there because I heard this guy's laughter before." The words fell. The heavily made up girl's face turned cold. "Then chase him, that guy must have heard our conversation just now. The news of the soul expansion spark must not be leaked out. Although we will be returning to school soon, we still have to be prepared for any eventuality." As she spoke, the girl's eyes turned cold, and she followed the young captain's steps and chased after him. The others looked at each other and sped up to catch up. Comma comma. In the dense forest, Cheng Wushang ran as fast as he could, his 3-meter-tall golden haki body constantly jumping on the thick treetops. The speed is faster than the ordinary Black Iron 9 stars. However, he is only a 5-star Black Iron beast, even if he is such a legendary beast. He can't compare to the silver 5-star young man with speed ability behind him. Glancing at the young man approaching from behind, Chang Wushang cursed, "What the hell? I've already blocked a knife for you, what else do you want?" Behind him, the young captain could no longer hear what Chang Wushang said. He looked at the former's golden haki body, his eyes widened. Crazy blood golden lion. He had read history books, so he recognized this legendary beast at a glance. The young man in front of him was actually an S-level beast awakener, and the king of beasts, the wild blood golden lion. Etc. Yesterday, students from Magic City University spread the news that one of the specially recruited freshmen is the monster of the mad blood golden lion. Advertisement. And it is impossible for so many talents like this to appear at the same time. Could it be that? Thinking of this, his heart skipped a beat. They actually treated the specially recruited students of Magic City University as fools and tricked them. The young man almost fainted at this moment. If Modu University knew about this, the president of Linhai University would be embarrassed. No, don't let anyone know about this. If necessary. Shaking his head violently, the young man's eyes gradually became crazy and filled with murderous intent. Without saying a word, he mobilized all his spiritual energy, used his speed ability, and got close to Chang Wushang again. Damn it, if I were promoted to the Silver Realm, I would kill you without a second thought. Not only was he cheated, but he was also hunted down by the same people afterwards. Chang Wushang was disgusted. But at this moment, he had no choice but to run as fast as he could. Otherwise, he won't even have the chance to see Brother Mo for the last time, and he will definitely regret it for the rest of his life. Damn, bad luck. I should have listened to Brother Mo and put safety first and not gotten so close. Die. In the end, Chang Wushang was still approached, and the alloy sword in the young man's hand chopped down from above. The sharp whistling sound of the air being cut made Chang Wushang's hair stand on end. He quickly twisted his body and swung his claws to meet the attack. Clang. Sparks flew everywhere. Although his claws were intact, Chang Wushang's 3-meter-tall body was knocked directly into the dense forest. Bang. It fell to the ground, splashing up a lot of dust. Shit. That hurts. Chang Wushang struggled to stand up and waved his claws, but there was not even a trace. But it was very numb and painful, and I felt like I was losing consciousness. Oink oink. At this time, the awakening team from Linhai University, who was chasing after him, surrounded Chang Wushang. Everyone looked at Chang Wushang with shock on their faces. Captain, is this the Mad Blood Golden Lion? Advertisement. The weird woman opened her mouth wide, an awakener with S-level talent. The young man nodded solemnly. It's the new special recruit of Magic City University this year, the Crazy Blood Golden Lion. Upon hearing this, the group of key students from Linhai University first showed expressions of jealousy and envy. But the next moment, murderous intent appeared in his eyes. Naturally, they also understood the seriousness of the matter and absolutely could not let Chang Wushang get away. Otherwise, everyone here will die. Either he will be punished to death by the Magic City University, or he will be avenged to death by this monster in front of him in the future. Taking a deep breath, the young captain looked down at Chang Wushang and said, "Kill him, and then find another person. Now that things have come to this, we can no longer turn back. You know what I mean." As he finished speaking, a young man with a very strong physique stood up. His limbs gradually swelled, and then began to grow thick black-brown hair. Eventually, his height increased to more than 2 meters, and his limbs turned into bare paws and legs. As a fellow beast transformation mutant, it is my great honor to be able to kill an S-level wild blood golden lion. The sturdy young man grinned fiercely and rushed towards Chang Wushang. His terrifying bare legs made the ground tremble. Chang Wushang roared and rushed forward. Damn it. I'm not afraid of you. If I have to die, I'd rather die heroically. I can't be humiliated by this group of people. However, facing the beast-like Silver Awakener whose cultivation level was much higher than his, Chang Wushang was completely suppressed. Bang, bang, bang. He was being hammered, his hair was bleeding from many places, and the terrifying force broke trees one after another. It was a miserable sight. Haha, that's cool. The sturdy young man grinned and stepped one of his bare legs on the head of Chang Wushang, who had regained his human form. The rest of the people also watched with sated smiles. Being able to slaughter an S-rank special recruit simply made them feel extremely happy. Even a few students were eager to try and walk towards Chang Wushang. The young captain frowned and said coldly, "Stop making trouble, kill him." The sturdy young man nodded, licked his lips, raised his leg, and wanted to crush Chang Wushang's head. On the ground, Chang Wushang's eyes were gloomy. "Brother Mo, it seems that I can't become the strongest man with you." The words have not been finished. Sudden. Bang. A big head fell to the ground and appeared in his bleak eyes, and Chang Wushang's gaze gradually focused. Looking at the head very close to him, it was the head of that strong young man. "You little b***************, D, I clearly told you to put your own safety first." A helpless and angry scolding sounded in Chang Wushang's ears, and then he felt himself being picked up. Looking up, It was that familiar and handsome face, Brother Mo. Chapter 46. I hope you can have some idea about your next life. At this moment, all the awakened students, including the youth team leader, stared blankly at the sturdy young man whose head had fallen to the ground. What happened? Just a moment ago, they didn't even have time to react before they saw a flash of a knife and the strong young man had been beheaded. When I reacted again, a young man covered in blood was standing there. What's happening? You know, there is an awakened person with amplified hearing in their team. The short young man looked at the sturdy young man who was even grinning, then looked at the slender figure covered in blood, and said in a trembling voice, Captain. Captain, it's the other person. The young captain nodded grimly. On the devastated ground. Looking at Cheng Wushang covered in blood, Sumo felt very guilty. If he had come later. I can't imagine it. Holding Cheng Wushang, Sumo slowly walked to a flat ground and gently put him down, saying softly, Next, you take a good rest, and leave everything to Brother Mo. After he finished speaking, his expression turned cold, and the murderous intent in his eyes almost became tangible. He turned around and glanced at the people from Linhai University. You guys deserve to die. The voice was suppressed and low, and it was as creepy as a Shira crawling out of hell. Moment. All the students, including the youth captain, subconsciously took a step back, their faces turning pale. It was as if he was being stared at by a prehistoric beast and he dared not move at all. Die. Without saying too much, Sumo, holding the alloy Guandao, performed the dragon step with all his strength. His body was like a dragon rushing out of the clouds, and he rushed towards the strongest young captain among them with great force. He just wanted to kill these people at this moment, even if Uranus Lousy came. Everyone has to stand aside for him. What a fast speed. Seeing Sumo rushing in front of him in the blink of an eye, the young captain's pupils shrank. He reacted quickly and raised his knife to block hastily. However, clang. Under his horrified gaze, Sumo's pitch-black blade directly cut off his alloy sword. Then, the blade came right in front of him like a broken bamboo. To die. This was the young man's last thought as he looked at the pitch-black blade so close to him. Advertisement. Phew. The alloy Guando chopped the young captain in half from top to bottom. With a sneer, Sumo twisted his body and rushed towards another Linhai University student without hesitation. The second of 9 consecutive slashes with the heavy sword. The heavily made-up girl finally reacted at this moment, her face horrified. Captain. Their captain, a silver 5-star awakener, died just like that. Not only her, the rest of the students looked at the young captain who was broken into 2 halves in disbelief. Don't want. Just as everyone was stunned for a moment, another person was beheaded by Sumo. We can't let him defeat us one by one. Come on. Attack us together. Someone screamed in fear, and the rest of the people came to their senses and used their special abilities to kill Sumo. There are B-level water elemental water blade attacks, enhanced supernatural power attacks, and special sonic harassment. All kinds of supernatural powers attacked Sumo. All of you die. With a grim smile, Sumo swept the knife in one hand and punched out with the other, and 2 white halos appeared on the blade and the fist. Snap, snap. Along with 2 eerie sounds of shattering glass, all attacks were swept away and annihilated, and a shocking force rushed out. Among them, the 5 Linhai students who attacked Sumo at close range were torn into pieces on the spot and exploded into bloody mist. Boom boom boom. The area within a radius of about 10 meters was constantly shaking and the ground was trembling. If it wasn't for the fear of affecting Cheng Wushang, Sumo's attack would have covered everyone. All were shocked to death. The remaining 7 people looked at Sumo in amazement, with horror in their eyes. I have already begun to feel like giving up. Run. The heavily made-up girl screamed and turned to run away without saying a word. Facing Sumo, they are simply no match for him. At this moment, the only option is to escape. Buzz. But before the 7 people could react, an invisible ripple suddenly spread out. Wherever he passed, the 7 people who were about to turn around seemed to be suppressed by 100 times the gravity. Bound, bound, bound. They all lay on the ground like dead dogs, unable to move. Like a killing god, Sumo walked towards the 7 people with an expressionless face. Advertisement. Don't kill me. I was wrong, I was wrong. Being approached by Sumo, the short young man was scared to death. Looking at the flashing knife edge, a foul smell came out from his crotch, and he actually peed. Sumo looked down at him, raised the guando in his hand, and then dropped it. Phew. Heads rolled down, faces frozen and distorted. Seeing this, the other 6 people were frightened and turned pale. They struggled to move and cried out. Don't kill us. Don't kill us. That's right. We have money, psychic stones, and soul-expanding sparks. Sumo's eyes were cold, and he raised his knife and slashed. No. Phew. Please let me go, sir. I am from the Ming Martial Arts School in the Magic City. Phew. Wow wow wow. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Phew. Comma. Shaking off the blood on the knife, Sumo walked towards the last 2 people who also wanted to escape first. That is, the weird woman and the heavily made-up girl. At this moment, the 2 women were no longer as calm as they were at the beginning, and one of them had a distorted look of fear. One of them burst into tears. Sumo walked up to the sarcastic woman, looking down at her, with the guandao raised in his hand. No, 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 I beg you, don't kill me, don't kill me. As long as you don't kill me, I will do whatever you say. You can do whatever you want, mine is very big. I am big everywhere. Please, please. Phew. The hysterical voice stopped abruptly, the head rolled to the side, and the delicate body was still twitching. The heavily made-up girl at the side started howling like a ghost, screaming, I know. I know. She's not pretty enough, right? Right. I'm very pretty. I'm very pretty. I'm also the best at kung fu in the school. I'll definitely satisfy you. Can you please let me live? She cried and raised her tear-stained little face. The internet celebrity's face, which was originally acceptable, was made to look like a ghost by the foundation. Sumo's mouth twitched and she almost broke down. He squatted down, reached out and lifted the girl's chin, and the latter's face immediately became full of hope and she stopped crying. However, Sumo's next words made her look horrified again. I hope you'll have some ideas when you're reincarnated in your next life. After saying that, Sumo twisted his wrist. Snap. A sound of breaking bones was heard, and the girl's terrified face froze. Her head was twisted to the side, and she was deader than dead. Ding. The host killed the silver 3-star awakener and obtained 160 energy points. Standing up and clapping his hands in disgust, Sumo then began to touch the corpse, and after taking away everything he could. Only then did he walk towards Cheng Wushang with satisfaction, and then carried Cheng Wushang away from here. As for these corpses, just consider them as a snack for the monsters. Chapter 47. Mutation, the coming of the monster tide. Soon, Sumo carried Cheng Wushang to a hidden valley. He breathed a sigh of relief after building a fence with rocks. This great battle first killed thousands of monsters, and then wiped out a team of silver awakeners. The cost was indeed not small. Walking into the valley, Cheng Wushang was lying there with a look of self-blame on his face. Seeing Sumo coming in, he lowered his head and said, Brother Mo, I'm sorry, I didn't listen to you. Quote. Sumo's face suddenly turned black, and he walked up to Cheng Wushang and slapped him. Are you done yet? You only know how to apologize along the way. Is it your fault? It's my fault. You were in the Black Iron Realm, and I shouldn't have asked you to follow them. This brat. His self-blaming look made him feel very guilty. Brother Mo. Okay, if you keep blaming yourself, believe it or not, I will send you back immediately. Hearing this, Cheng Wushang shook his head violently. Rolling his eyes at him unhappily, Sumo suddenly asked in confusion. You obviously have something to protect yourself, why don't you use it? Brother Mo, I forgot. Quote. Helplessly holding his forehead, Sumo shook his head and sighed. Forget it, it's not your fault. It's inevitable to be nervous when facing such a crisis for the first time. Remember this lesson and be smarter next time, okay? Got it, Brother Mo. After throwing some healing medicines to Cheng Wushang, Sumo walked aside and began to check the harvest. I gained a lot this time. Just the thousands of monsters accounted for nearly 20,000 energy points. Together with the spiritual energy stones collected from killing the team of awakened people from Linhai University, the total amount should be enough for 20,000. The most important thing was that he found a fiery red, glowing elixir from the young captain's storage bracelet. When he was in high school, his teachers gave them this knowledge, so he recognized it at a glance. Expand the spark. A rare and superior intermediate-grade elixir. In the market, it is something that is in short supply and it is difficult for ordinary Diamond Realm experts to buy it. After all, this is a treasure that can give a person an 80% chance of being promoted to the Gold Realm. If the awakened person has very strong superpowers and extraordinary talents, he can take this medicine. If nothing goes wrong, it will be easy to open up the spiritual energy spring and advance to the Golden Realm. Looking at the soul-expanding sparks in the storage space, Sumo asked in his heart, System, can I exchange them for energy points? In addition to obtaining energy points by killing living creatures, all items with energy can be exchanged for energy points. After hearing the system's answer, Sumo weighed the pros and cons and gave up the idea of exchanging. His promotion to gold was actually as easy as drinking water, but what about Cheng Wushang and Chen Durong, and future members? It's better to keep it for now and see if his two younger brothers need it later. Advertisement. As for being able to exchange for energy points, sorry, you just need to spend some time killing monsters to get them. But the spark of soul expansion is hard to come by. Given a choice, even a fool knows what to choose. System, absorb the psychic stone in my bracelet. In that team of awakened people, there are 3 people with storage space. The others were carrying packages, but they didn't have any psychic stones, which was a pity. Although the psychic stones stored in the 3 storage spaces are all low grade, there are still several hundred of them. According to estimates, it should be possible to exchange for more than 3,000 energy points. Ding. The host absorbed a low-grade psychic stone and gained 90 energy points. Ding. The host absorbed a low-grade psychic stone and gained 110 energy points. Ding. The host absorbed a low-grade psychic stone and gained. A total of 3,607 energy points. plus the 19,504 points obtained from killing that group of monsters and that team of awakened people. A total of 23,111 energy points were obtained. That's enough progress to unlock 2 more points of vibrant force. Of course, this time, he didn't plan to unlock it, but upgrade the team mode first. As his thoughts fell, ding, team mode is being upgraded. Ding, upgrade progress. 1%, 10%, 24%. Ding, the team mode has been upgraded. The current level is level 2, the feedback rate is 20%, and the team has 6 members. Very good, now I should be able to get more. Sumo grinned, feeling extremely happy. Next, because Cheng Wuxiang needed to heal his injuries, Sumo had to accompany him. Only when your injuries are almost healed can you continue to go out and kill. After all, Sumo was worried about leaving him alone. At night, the temperature drops sharply. Sumo took out the food because Cheng Wuxiang couldn't move. He could only feed this guy with his hands. If those senior schoolmates who love looks at Shanghai University saw this scene, they would be absolutely envious. How they wished that the person being fed by Lord Sumo was themselves, not Cheng Wuxiang. After eating and drinking, the two lay down in the prepared bed. Cheng Wuxiang suddenly asked curiously, Brother Mo, can I ask a question? Sumo, you say. Advertisement. Your current realm. Yes, as you can see, the Silver Realm. Sumo did not hide it. After all, he had displayed strength that was not in line with the Black Iron Realm in front of Cheng Wuxiang many times. Gurgle. After swallowing a handful of saliva, Cheng Wuxiang felt numb inside. Silver Realm. Their awakening ceremony has only been going on for about 20 days, right? Brother Mo is already a Silver Awakener, and is about to catch up with the legendary records in textbooks. The most amazing thing is that Brother Mo is so low-key. He doesn't show off in a high-profile manner, but just shows off invisibly. Really, if Brother Mo had not been born, the world would have been as dark as a night forever. Cheng Wuxiang was filled with emotion, and he admired Sumo more and more in his heart. Brother Mo, you are hiding it so deliberately, I won't tell anyone. Sumo nodded. Well, if you stand out in the forest, the wind will destroy it. If you attract too much attention, you will get into a lot of trouble. Although I am a little conspicuous now, I still have to keep a low profile. Cheng Wuxiang. A bit eye-catching. Still need to be more low-key. The strongest top student in the freshman year of Shanghai University is known to the whole school. Maybe he will even be on the news or something. Is this a bit eye-catching? Why does it sound like something other than human language? Although he complained in his heart, Cheng Wuxiang still nodded heavily. Brother Mo is right. We should be low-key. The old beggar also said so. Okay, I understand. Go to sleep. Yes, Brother Mo. For the next 3 days, Sumo practiced martial arts while accompanying Cheng Wuxiang. It is worth mentioning that after 9 consecutive slashes with the heavy sword, the minor success realm has been completely mastered and is approaching the major success realm. I can already slash 5 times in a row. The 5th slash, the cumulative power is so terrifying. Cheng Wuxiang's health gradually improved and he was almost fully recovered. The recovery ability is indeed extremely perverted. On the 4th day, the two walked out of the valley again. Cheng Wuxiang grinned. Brother Mo, I am a hero again. The words fell. Boom. The earth suddenly shook, and the hard ground above began to fall down as if it had suffered a huge impact. Immediately afterwards, a magnificent voice spread throughout the entire underground maze. All awakened people in the maze, listen up, this is an emergency, the army is already waiting outside, a wave of monsters is coming, quickly return to the base city. Chapter 48. Extraordinary Power, Retreat to the Front Line. All awakened people in the maze, listen up, this is an emergency, the military is waiting outside, a monster wave is coming, return to the base city immediately. The majestic sound spread throughout the entire abyss maze, to all the awakened people on the top, middle, and even bottom levels. I could hear it all clearly. A wave of monsters. Retreat. Retreat quickly. No way. They're really here. I just arrived at the maze. I still remember vividly the wave of monsters in the dangerous bone forest in the north 3 years ago. Run. If you don't run, you will die. Stupid, you're still dissecting materials. Don't you want to live anymore? Come with me now. In the abyss maze, after hearing this voice, all the awakened people changed their faces and ran towards the exit. Some of the gold awakeners at the lowest level were running to the upper levels at their fastest speed, like flashes of lightning. Most of them were the survivors of the monster wave in the dangerous bone forest 3 years ago. That monster wave came too suddenly. The military didn't react in time, and many people didn't react in time, resulting in heavy casualties. The frontline fortress was breached 3 times until the powerful king and one of the 9 armies that suppress demons rushed back. Only then did they preserve the last few lines of defense. Otherwise, if the monster tide rushes into the demon city, ordinary people and low-level awakeners will definitely not be spared. This is the monster tide. A disaster that human civilization fears. At the top level, Brother Mo, what should we do? Cheng Wuxiang naturally knew what the concept of a monster tide was. When he was in high school, his teachers often reminded them of the horror of this disaster. Sumo sighed helplessly. What else can I do? Run. Although I am very unwilling and still want to continue to earn some energy in this novice land, compared to my life, nothing else matters. Soon, he took Cheng Wushang and ran towards the exit. Along the way, I met many awakened people, all of whom looked flustered and nervous, wishing they had 4 legs to run faster. Coming out of the bloody hole, outside, there were already a lot of alloy armored vehicles parked. Advertisement. An officer in black military uniform was walking in the sky at this time. His facial features were stern and he looked intimidating without even getting angry. Walking in the air, this officer is actually a powerful Diamond Realm expert. I'm Commander Chen, the person in charge of evacuating you from here. Everyone who comes out will get in the armored vehicles immediately. Move quickly. Watching the awakened ones running out of the abyss labyrinth one after another, Commander Chen urged them again in a stern manner. It is estimated that the monster tide will rush out of the abyss territory in 4 or 5 hours. Time is very tight when passing through the abyss labyrinth. Hurry up. After these words were spoken, the faces of the awakened ones who had just escaped changed again. 4 or 5 hours. So fast. You know, it takes 3 hours to get back to the base city from here. And we have to wait for some people coming out later. If there is an accident along the way, then. Thinking of this, the group of awakened people rushed to the armored vehicle and sat down nervously. Sumo and Cheng Wushang rushed out after a while. At this time, an ethereal voice came. Junior, this way. Cheng Wushang looked over and his eyes suddenly widened. It's senior sister Shangguan and senior sister Yi. I saw the stunningly beautiful Shangguan Feiyan and the pretty Yi Xiaoshui sitting in an alloy armored vehicle and waving at here. Cheng Wushang immediately turned to look at Sumo with admiration on his face. My goodness, as soon as we were in danger, the goddess senior came to pick us up in person, and she came in a separate luxury armored car. If he didn't know that Brother Mo was as fierce as a tiger, he would definitely call Brother Mo a pretty boy. Sumo couldn't help but be stunned. Shangguan Feiyan actually came to pick him up in person. Is it because we are both students of Yan Yun, or? Be low-key and don't be too narcissistic. Shaking his head, Sumo hurriedly took Cheng Wushang towards the armored vehicle where Shangguan Feiyan was. Many awakened people around saw this scene and were so envious. Most of them knew Shangguan Feiyan. Who are those 2 guys in front of me? They could even be welcomed by the daughter of Shangguan family. Since Sumo's current fame is only spread within Shanghai University, many people in the outside world still don't know about him. So at this moment, this group of awakened people all looked at Sumo sourly. It's great that I don't have to squeeze into a car and I have beautiful women to accompany me. Advertisement. When they arrived in front of the armored vehicle, the door opened automatically, and Sumo and the others immediately stepped into the armored vehicle. The space inside was spacious and it smelled good. As soon as Sumo came up, Shangguan Feiyan looked at him, and after finding that he was fine, she breathed a sigh of relief. Mr. Bo, go back. Seeing this scene, Yi Xiaoshui and Cheng Wushang naturally felt unbalanced again. The former is angry to death, and the latter is jealous to death. On the way, boom. The horrible vibration was still continuing, and the armored vehicle that had just driven a short distance was almost overturned. Sumo looked confused and uncertain. What on earth is this vibration? Yi Xiaoshui steadied herself and looked towards the direction of the abyss territory. She said in a serious tone, according to internal information, a new 5th-level demon general has been promoted in the abyss territory. This wave of demons is their new test. The principal and his men have already gone to stop these big demons. A 5th-level demon general. A battle between extraordinary strong men. Hearing this, Sumo was shocked. Could it be that this wave of monsters involves such a powerful being? The most terrible thing is, what the hell is this power? The battle in the abyss territory has spread to the abyss labyrinth. You know, within the field of vision, in the direction of the abyss territory, there is no sign of any movement. In other words, the battle between these powerful men is enough to affect an area of 1,000 miles in radius, or even more. Such an extraordinary and powerful person is so terrifying. At this moment, Sumo felt even more in awe of the extraordinary strong men, and even the king-level strong men. At the same time, I am more eager to obtain this power. Cheng Wushang on the side opened his eyes wide. The battle between extraordinary strong men. This is something he dared not even think about. Looking in the direction of the abyss territory, Yi Xiaoshui's tone was now filled with worry. This wave of monsters may be several times more terrifying than the one 3 years ago. Although the military has made preparations in advance this time, the sacrifices will probably not be small. After she finished speaking, she looked at Sumo. By the way, Stinky Jr., this time the military has recruited major forces and awakened organizations to defend the front line. I heard that as long as you kill the monsters, you will be rewarded with corresponding psychic stones. Many sophomores, juniors and seniors from our Shanghai University and other key universities have come to the front line for training. Of course, there are also many who are afraid of death and did not come, but Feiyan and I have decided to give it a try. There are teachers watching, and powerful monsters can naturally be dealt with by powerful awakeners. We only need to defend against the 1st and 2nd level monsters. Although it is also very dangerous, if we can survive this experience, it will definitely greatly improve our state of mind and cultivation. There are also many freshmen coming. I just saw the special recruitment teacher with Li Tianyi and Marong Xiaomei. What about you, junior brother? Hearing this, Sumo's eyes gradually brightened. Chapter 49 Brother-in-law Shangguan Qinghong, the war begins. Without saying anything, Sumo grinned and said, this is a rare opportunity, so I will definitely participate. Just kidding, I have been in the Abyss Maze for 6 days, and I have been taking care of Cheng Wushang for 4 days. There was no way to properly collect energy points, and now the military has recruited awakened people to defend together and divided the battle lines. Creating space for these low-level awakeners is still fraught with dangers and they may die at any time. But if there was no danger, the military wouldn't have set such a high reward, right? Anyway, it's all voluntary. Those who want to participate can come, and those who don't want to participate, the military won't force you. After all, it's not time to really despair yet. Become the king of the strong. The 9 armies to suppress demons. As long as these 2 biggest trump cards of humanity are still there, the demon city will not fall so easily. There is a crisis, but it is not life-threatening. Most people know this, so they all actively participated in this recruitment. Although it is dangerous, the rewards are really great. And for Sumo, the 3rd and 4th level monsters were blocked out by the strong, and the remaining 1st and 2nd level defense lines were simply heaven. Shangguan Feiyan, who was sitting opposite, saw Sumo's confident smile and reminded him softly, junior brother, if you participate later, remember to stay by my side. After all, there are still 2nd level monsters in this last line of defense. Even if you are a monster, it is still dangerous to face a 2nd level monster. Seeing this, Yi Xiaoshui got jealous. Humph. Fei Yan, just pamper him. Be careful that others don't call him a pretty boy. Cheng Wushang, who was standing by, twitched his mouth when he heard this. Pretty boy, is it dangerous for Brother Mo to encounter a 2nd level monster? Damn, a tough guy who killed thousands of monsters by himself, chopping 2nd level monsters like melons and vegetables. You told me he was a gigolo. I'm afraid those 2nd level monsters are almost in danger of losing their lives. He really wanted to brag about his Brother Mo in front of the 2 beauties, but Brother Mo had said that he should be low-key and not show off. Ignoring Yi Xiaoshui's small eyes, Sumo looked at Shangguan Feiyan and smiled softly. Senior sister, I will be careful. Advertisement. Soon. More than 3 hours passed. The towering alloy fortress came into view. At this time, on the alloy city wall, a large number of officers and soldiers who were awakened and wearing alloy armor stood on it, with solemn expressions on their faces. Behind him are countless awakened ones, fully armed and ready for battle. In the sky, psychic fighter planes were hovering above the fortress, making a buzzing sound. They were the latest annihilator machines. A heavy-duty weapon with terrifying firepower, capable of destroying large numbers of low-level monsters if there is enough spiritual energy. There are even multiple gun barrels on the alloy wall, which are also the latest psychic crystal cannons. After a volley of fire, even the 3rd-level monsters can't withstand it. In short, this first fortress alone is filled with countless high-tech recruiting devices, which can definitely give the monster tide a hard time. Let's go up. The armored vehicle drove into the city gate and stopped. Shangguan Feiyan went upstairs first, followed by Butler Bo. While chatting in the car, Sumo learned about this old housekeeper who followed Shangguan Feiyan silently. He turned out to be a powerful awakener in the Diamond Realm. He is a personal bodyguard with a knife who is specifically responsible for protecting the young lady. It's hidden so deeply, he couldn't even sense Sumo's observation haki. There was no doubt that he was a high-star diamond expert. With him around, Shangguan Feiyan can rest assured about her safety this time. On the platform belonging to Magic City University, many sophomores, juniors and even seniors gathered. The domineering young man who went to watch the friendly match last time saw Shangguan Feiyan coming and came forward with a grin. Behind him, there was a group of senior students wearing the same armor as him. The beautiful woman who followed him last time was among them. Each of them had an astonishing aura and sharp eyes. They were all awakened ones in the Golden Realm. When he got closer, the domineering young man grinned and teased, "Little sister, are you bringing your boyfriend back?" Shangguan Feiyan's pretty face suddenly turned red. She glared at the young man, and then introduced him to Sumo. "This is my brother, Shangguan Qinghong, a senior special recruit." Senior sister's brother, Shangguan Qinghong. In the campus forum, this name seems to be listed in the list of senior figures. It seems that this ruthless person is here to stay. Advertisement. Sumo smiled and greeted, "Hello, Senior Shangguan." Shangguan Qinghong looked at Sumo meaningfully, with the corners of her mouth curled up slightly. "Why call me senior? Shouldn't it be brother-in-law?" Yi Xiaoshui at the side couldn't stand it anymore. "Brother Qinghong, what brother-in-law? Feiyan and this stinky guy are so pure." Shangguan Qinghong pouted, walked forward and took Sumo's shoulder, looking at Yi Xiaoshui with disdain. "Sorry, my sister's sexual orientation is normal, you have no chance, and, brother-in-law, I am very satisfied with this young man." Looking at the handsome face so close to him, Sumo was speechless. Bro, why did he suddenly call himself brother-in-law? If this gets out, his and his senior's innocence will be in jeopardy. Sumo. Senior, my relationship with my senior is pure. Shangguan Qinghong heard this and looked at Sumo with an expression that said, do you think I would believe it? Besides my father and me, you are the third man Fei Yan cooks for herself, and she smiled at you, right? Plus, we live together. Little brother, we are all men, I understand. A sly smile came over, making Sumo's mouth twitch. Wow, this analysis really makes people think a lot, but the truth is, they are really pure, okay. Buzz. Just as the brother-in-law was about to continue teasing, a loud siren sounded. Immediately afterwards, a magnificent, loud and majestic voice was heard from the sky. Everyone, the monster wave will arrive at the base city in half an hour. Now, all the Diamond Awakeners who are ready, follow me and kill them. Stop all the 4th level monsters. Don't let any of them slip through. As soon as he finished speaking, on the platform, a series of figures with majestic aura and extraordinary demeanor stepped into the air and rushed into the clouds. This scene was so spectacular that the other awakened ones looked envious. In the Diamond Realm, one can fly in the air, freely and unrestrainedly. This is the realm that most awakened people desire to reach in their lifetime. After a while, most of the Diamond Awakeners followed the owner of the voice and headed towards the Abyss territory. Besides Sumo, Shangguan Qinghong grinned and chuckled, looking at the Diamond Awakeners who were moving away with undisguised arrogance in her eyes. Diamond Realm. Not far away. As he said that, he looked at Sumo again, and his sly expression was revealed again. Brother-in-law, perform well. Your brother-in-law, will be the most handsome guy in the 3rd level monster defense line, and you will be the brightest guy in the 1st and 2nd level defense lines. If our father sees it, he will definitely be very satisfied. At the side, Shangguan Feiyan's ears were already red. She grabbed Shangguan Qinghong's waist, pulled her brother aside, and started a beating game between siblings. Soon, 10 minutes or so passed and the horizon appeared in the distance. At the junction of heaven and earth, extremely dark shadows kept appearing in everyone's eyes. The overwhelming, roaring tide of monsters that makes your scalp tingle at the mere sight of them has finally arrived. Chapter 50. My brother Mo in society is a ruthless person who doesn't talk much. Monster tide. It was as if a terrifying black sea was flowing over, giving people an extremely oppressive and suffocating feeling. Some weak students, who were seeing such a scene for the first time, turned pale instantly. I no longer have the confidence and eagerness I had at the beginning. Even some of the older generation of awakeners who had experienced a wave of monsters felt their scalps tingling and their faces looked grim. Why is this monster wave so massive? This is much more horrific than the one 3 years ago. Can we really hold on? Don't say discouraging words. Cheer up, we have our home, wife, son and daughter behind us. Yes, I just don't believe that with so many of us and the technological weapons of our military brothers, we still can't stop these beasts. On the platform, after the initial panic, most of the awakened people quickly calmed down. Although I am still nervous, I can now face the monster waves. At the platform of Magic City University, Yi Xiaoshui's pretty face turned pale. Is this the real monster tide? She muttered, swallowing nervously. 3 years ago, when there was a wave of monsters, they, who were still high school students, had only heard about how terrifying it was. They had never seen it with their own eyes, but even so, they could still feel the tragedy from the heart-pounding expressions of some of the older generation. However, these feelings are nothing in front of the real tide of monsters at this moment. The feeling of facing a tide of monsters can make one's mind go blank and one will not even have the slightest thought of resisting. Behind her, Li Tianyi, Marongzi and other specially recruited freshmen who had arrived confidently looked even more pale. He looked at the tide of monsters with a bewildered look on his face. Can they, who are Iron 4 stars, really survive such a wave? Even if they are all at the lowest level, early stage 1, they will die if surrounded by 10 or 100 of them. The students from other key universities in Magic City were in the same situation, their bodies trembling slightly. Among the freshmen present, only Sumo looked excited. He was looking at the group of monsters at this moment, as if he saw an energy point rushing towards him. 20 o'clock, 30 o'clock, 40 o'clock. The monsters reflected in the eyes had numbers popping up above their heads. At this time, on the highest alloy city wall, a burly, square-faced officer stared solemnly at the tide of monsters on the line between heaven and earth. He is the commander-in-chief of the battlefield here, a peak diamond 9-star existence. Advertisement. His name is Chu Kuang, and he is known as the Iron-Blooded Madman. He is a general from the 9 demon-suppressing armies, and was sent here to garrison and command this battle. His tiger eyes were filled with murderous intent, and he shouted, "Fire!" The words fell. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The annihilation planes in the sky above flew out one after another, and when they got close to the tide of monsters, one after another, terrifying psychic missiles flew out, aiming directly at the group of monsters. Boom 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 boom. Accompanied by earth-shaking roars, a huge mushroom cloud rose up. The psychic storm continued to strangle the group of monsters below, but even so, it seemed that not even a splash of water could be made. The tide of monsters continued to rush forward, endlessly, like the Black Sea passing through, drowning everything. On the city wall, the countless psychic crystal cannons were also gathering energy and then fired out. Bound, bound, bound. The blue psychic artillery balls crossed a distance of tens of thousands of meters and continuously fell into the tide of monsters. Boom, boom, boom. Psychic storms immediately appeared everywhere, killing monster after monster. This time, gaps were indeed blasted out in the tide of monsters, but they were soon filled with the monsters behind. Such a scene is simply despairing. But Chu Kuang remained unmoved and continued, choose one point, suppress it with firepower, don't stop. After saying this, he turned his head and looked at all the awakened people below. All the gold awakeners immediately rushed to the 1,000-meter area behind the fire suppression, hold the defense line, and kill. When the last word, kill, was uttered, all the awakened people below seemed to be infected by this murderous aura. Looking at the spectacular sight of the explosions and feeling the smoke-filled air, everyone's eyes suddenly burst with endless fighting spirit. Kill, brothers, defend our country, kill them. Everyone, our home is behind us. We must not let these animals rush over. Kill them. Kill, 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 kill. Comma, comma. A group of golden awakeners immediately turned into afterimages, and after showing their magical powers, they jumped off the city wall and rushed forward. In the front, soldiers wearing alloy armor had already rushed into the tide of monsters, looking for third-level monsters. They fought desperately. Advertisement. Chu Kuang looked at this scene with satisfaction. Although he didn't look very impressive at the beginning, he finally acted like a real man now. On the platform of Magic University, Shangguan Qinghong took a deep breath, then laughed heartily. Ha 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 ha. I'm Shangguan Qinghong, here I come. As soon as he finished speaking, he jumped off the city wall first, and a ball of pitch-black magic armor immediately attached to his body. Then he pulled out two ferocious, black glowing long swords from his magic armor with both hands, and rushed out without saying a word. The team members behind him also coordinated their abilities and displayed their special abilities in a coordinated manner. Each of them was terrifying in their own way and followed Shangguan Qinghong's pace. At this time, Mr. Bo looked at the middle-aged man who appeared at some point and said, "Go, look after the young master." Yes, this person immediately stepped out into the air, and turned out to be another Diamond Awakener. Comma comma. Soon, as the Golden Awakeners struggled to block the third line of defense, the remaining first and second level monsters emerged. It is obviously not as dense as at the beginning, but it is still like the Black Sea, pressing down. Chu Kuang looked at the silver and black iron awakeners who had the largest number of bases on the platform, and said in a deep voice, "This will be your line of defense. Don't be afraid. Unite and victory will belong to us. So everyone, for our homeland and for the people behind us, kill." The roar fell. On the platform, a group of silver awakeners also jumped off the city wall, using their special powers, holding swords in hand, and rushed towards the tide of monsters. Sumo also took out his alloy Guan Dao without saying a word and jumped down generously. His blood was already boiling, and everything in front of him was brimming with energy. Junior. Shangguan Feiyan's face changed drastically and she wanted to grab Sumo, but the latter was obviously one step faster. Without any hesitation, she immediately summoned the immortal sword suit and chased after Sumo. FK. Brother Mo, wait for me. Cheng Wushang was also confused. Brother Mo's move was too sudden. He didn't even say hello, and others would even shout the word, kill, to boost their morale. Damn. As expected, my brother Mo in society is a ruthless person who doesn't talk much. Roar. After a lion's roar, Cheng Wushang transformed into a mad bloody golden lion and jumped off the city wall. Yi Xiaoshui's special ability is the S-level fire element, Ice and Red Flame. It is a bone-chillingly cold flame that not only has a strong attack power, but also has the ability to paralyze others. With sky-blue flames coming out of her body, she immediately jumped down. Snort. Feiyan protects the Stinky Junior, so I will protect Feiyan.